Hello everybody, welcome to CPL8. Are you excited for the first cast of CPL8? We are back at last, here in the new year, 2022. I'm Neblime, here is Saetzero. Can you say Saetzero?
I'll actually say hello, just for you, just this once. It's a new year, it's a new me. We're gonna be friendly this time, I swear.
Right, if you say so. We'll see how we go once the cast started, but of course, as you probably all know, we are in preseason here. We are smashing these players together, seeing what happens so we can place them in the appropriate tier for the proper season, and of course, if games are being played, that means games need to be casted, so that's what Saetzero and I are here to do for you. So let's have a look at today's matches. So we have a couple of groups here. Group 19, a bit higher up on the scale. I would say that's probably about like tier 1 corresponding approximately. Would you say so, Saetzero?
I can't. This is gonna be funny. That is around the like tier 1, tier 2. I think that's testing the water. I think, but it's the other group is group 29, not 2.
Yeah. I just saw that. I was working on it. It's fixed. So say it's a good volume now, can people confirm? Because I'm just missing modo levels here because it's been so long as well. We're back to amateur hour at CPL casts, as you know. Okay, good. Everything is in readiness. So yeah, let's have a look at these groups. Like I was saying, yeah, so group 29 I would say more like a tier 2 slash, maybe like tier 2 level. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd say we got some people that are probably in the tier 2, tier 1 kind of region. Between the whole thing, this is a little bit of the middle of the road, I think, as far as the groups go. Looking around, I was like, this feels like a good, test. Variety of races, some old names people are going to remember, some names I have not seen before, so always happy to see some new people hanging around. So, I'm just excited. But you know what really makes me decide what groups we're casting?
What's that?
Other than blind luck, I just start picking folders and seeing what happens. If there's replays in the folders, isn't that like nice? Yeah. If we want to cast, there has to be replays in the folders.
Yeah, take this opportunity to remind everyone that if you do not upload your replays, I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do. I shouldn't say it on stream, but watch out. You're in trouble with me if you don't upload them. So,
he's going to be fatherly disappointed in you all, and you don't want to do that. He's going to go get cigarettes. He'll never come back.
Okay, I didn't think I was going to say that, but yeah, that's right. That's right. If you're on my team, it'll be like, yeah, you're C rank now, son. I'm putting you out into the wild to fend for yourself because I can't deal with this anymore. All right, enough banter. Let's jump into our first game. I am keen.
I do want to throw up a couple little quick PSAs before we get into that.
Of course.
So if you guys are here, hopefully you're watching and having a good time with the CPL as we start. We're in the second week of preseason right now. Groups should be up, so if you haven't seen them, go check them out. Get in contact with everybody. If you're not involved yet, you should be. Go sign up for the wait list. We always add people throughout the season, so it's not like you're just going to be stuck there. Just hang out on Discord if you feel good about that as well. We also, I put it in the Discord announcement, but there's also a YouTube video of a coaching session Dentarg did just recently. So if you're looking to get some of that coaching action before teams are formed, go check out that video.
Oh, actually, that reminds me.
Very thankful they did that.
This Friday, we will have a masterclass from the Zerg player Flo as well, so keep an eye out for that. The stream will be announced, of course, and everything. So clear that time slot.
Yeah, Flo is a great player, so definitely going to be a good one to help you learn some more things. But also, like I was saying, make sure you're uploading replays. That's how your things are going to get cast, especially in the preseason where, it's a little more freeform, just kind of grabbing stuff. Definitely what you want to be doing here. And in case you are just looking to play more StarCraft and you haven't really noticed it yet, BSL 14 ladder is going on. Jump on in. Even if you're bad, Chobo League, you can get in the mix.
If you don't upload the replay, there's a secret rule in CPL. You get put up a tier if you don't upload the replays. So you guys better do that.
Oh, it might be over hell bacon. I'm just trying to advertise stuff. I don't know these things. It's a new year. Come on. You got to cut me some slack, but yeah, I'm good to get started in the next game if you like.
New year, new CPL, new game. Let's go.
Fantastic. Oh god, cold with the rhymes already. Don't do this to me, man!
Saetzero's fate is now sealed. In the top right, in the red, we have Hugin. I'm going to go with Hugin. And the top left, in the pink, we have Packrat. Definitely a CPL regular. Oh, I pressed F5 in 5 seconds into the first cast. That's how you know we're doing it well. Alright, here we are, starting with a TvZ here. Now, Hugin I don't believe has taken part in any CPLs. Is that correct? I'm pretty sure.
That's a name I do not feel familiar with. So
right. So this is what CPL is all about. We're going to find out, you know, what kind of things he can do, whether he's been mismatched maybe, or well, who knows? Who knows who the victim of mismatch might be? But could be a very close game as well. We just have to wait and see.
Yeah, and in case anyone didn't actually play in the first week of preseason for whatever reason, all the games we're going to be doing are going to be on Polypoid. This week that they're playing is now Eclipse, but this was just, you had a little group, a little round robin action, the best you could, and just one game, Polypoid, anything counts. I mean, usually means we don't see a lot of cheese in these preseason games, because, well, I mean, there's no stake.
You've jinxed it now. Who knows what's going to happen?
I want to jinx it. I want that preseason cheese. Come send the message about what you bring to your team.
A bit late for cheese now, I suppose, because already we have an Overlord coming up for Packrat, and of course you're not setting any SCVs out on the map. No, I have to say, I think the proxy racks are kind of rarer in the lower tiers, unless they go all out and do a BBS, but I have to say in the lower tiers I haven't seen that succeed very often. Now, Packrat, I'm pretty sure in this matchup is a Mutalisk player. I don't think we're going to see any Lurker shenanigans, even though they have been very strong in, I would say, around like tier 2 in CPL before. Here we go, he's going straight for that hatch, nothing amiss here. And Terran not going for any gas yet, although he's got an odd TVP-ish SimCity coming up. Here goes that scout.
It wouldn't be a new CPL season if we're going to talk about the Terran SimCity.
Well, he is going for gas though, which is very interesting. So, is the Goliath build still alive? I've been away for 3 months, so I don't really know even what builds people are doing, but if it's the Goliath build, well, I am impressed that that's still going. But he could just be going for a 1-1-1 here. We'll have to wait and see. Drone coming up.
I feel like you see a lot more Goliath build than 1-1-1, especially at these kind of lower levels. That it's not like these like crazy 2000 MMR players. Like doing anything 1-1's a little finicky, a little hard to control. You can get yourself in trouble sometimes. So
yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's just a Goliath, because it's just so easy. You don't have to stim. You don't got to just get the robots, man.
Yeah, I mean against Mutalists in particular, right? It's so simple. You literally just A move, and you know they're in range. The Mutas are across the map. They're in range. You know they cannot escape. I imagine the Mutalist just like, you know, is back at the base and a drone just tells him, Rumo, I heard Goliaths are being made. He's like, huh? And then the Goliath's in range. That's just how soon it happens. Alright, so it looks like we have a 2-hatch build coming up here from Packrat. Gonna get that layer pretty fast. SCV Scout comes in, gonna see everything if Hugin is familiar with the timings. And that factory is coming up for Hugin. And he is in fact still mining gas, so it looks like this is probably gonna be a 1-1-1, which we have not seen in CPL for a long time. So I'm very excited to see that actually. Now, Packrat, did his drone scout go there? I kind of lost track in all that talking. It did, didn't it?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did. But so he should know it's a gas opening, and now you have to be careful of vultures with that, right? So we should see a sunken come up, but it's been so long since we've seen a 1-1-1. I don't know if we'll see any preparation for wraiths here, and they can potentially do a lot of damage if they come around and snipe all your overlords. Ooh, and look at this. I don't know if this bunker is a fake out, but if it is, that's quite a nice move. The only thing is, like I said, Packrat has already scouted, but he doesn't know it's not the Goliath build. And if you scout an expansion with that gas timing, you know it's a Goliath build, but if you don't, then you know something's up. Alright, this SCV is still running around.
Yeah, definitely I think it is interesting, though. We still, at this point, no sunken even being started. So just making that hard read that's not going to be vultures.
Yeah, well,
which could be very dangerous. That's a good way to get yourself in trouble in a hurry.
Well, it seems like he was correct, because there's no vultures coming out. It's a bit unfortunate for Hugin. A lot of damage could have gone down here. I mean, even if Zerg holds the ramp, you bleed a few lings, deny mining at the natural, it's still a big deal. Okay, vulture being made now, but he's sending 3 marines out, which is a surprising turn of events when vultures are available, and the CC is coming up, so it looks like we are going for a expand build here with a factory, so something like a live build, but oh no, these marines caught on their own, they are going to die for sure.
Yeah, link speed being researched early enough to punch this little move out, and that's a scary thing to see right here, because you got that bunker back home, there's one dude in it, there's not even going to be repairs, one vulture, this is going to be hard enough to handle as it is, and you can see immediately surrounded, no chance to repair, no DPS, SCV is going to try to block the ramp, but that CC is definitely going to get cancelled. This is not how you want to start one of these games.
Well, the thing is, the Vulture can clean up all these lings on its own, if it's micro correctly. The problem is how much damage goes down in the meantime. Look at that, the Vulture getting stuck in the SCVs actually. The Vulture up the ramp, probably able to hold all these lings, but like you say, the CC could be cancelled if Zerg is determined. Oh, and Terran actually pulls the plug on that, which is probably the right move. I would have said Patrak was kind of going around not sure what to target, but it's still probably not a bad decision to cancel. But look at him come down the ramp! Completely unnecessary here, and this Vulture dies. There's no defense left for Terran. Oh, okay, except another Vulture.
Yeah, I think this is that big pressure. You see Terran losing all the stuff at the front. You don't have the scouting info. You don't know. You just want to get out on the map, see what's going on, try to get an idea here. And while they're going to be dealing with these lanes, cleaning everything up, that Spire is about to complete here. So there's like no eBay started, no armory on the way. When those mutas show up, this is definitely going to do even more damage than we've already seen.
Yeah, and one of the barracks is floating to scout. I mean, he's rebuilding one in base, so I'm not sure what the plan is here. Armory's only just coming up. It's extremely late here. Now, these two vultures are ready to clean up any more lings, so that's going fine. But, I mean, the damage is certainly done. Look at the SCV count alone, never mind how much damage these mutalisks might do. Packrat bringing a solid response to a gas opening, I think, is just you make a bunch of speedlings, see what they got. If he went to the front and, like, you know, there's lots of units, he's not really in the hole very much. He only made, like, you know, I'd say 16 lings, which, you know, there's a few less drones, but still you can manage. But as it is, he did huge damage. Now that expansion is absolutely huge. Now, Terran, I'm not even sure where you go from here. One more mutalisk is morphing. He's a bit late, but the others are out. There he is.
Yeah, honestly, like, we see the eBay on the way, and just the way that things are built, you're wondering the gas is still being mined. We saw such a delay on the Vulture. It felt like maybe Hugin's build, maybe not as practiced as what he was trying to do. It's doing something that's like, oh, I'm just not comfortable against Zerg. We give it a shot. You see these mutas do show up. There's no anti-air here. The armory's done, but no collides in production. Trying to make a turret here, but you can see, even without work focusing on better harassment right now, this is going to be too hard to deal with for...
Well, hang on now. If these vultures go up the ramp... Oh, no, they're going to die fighting the Sunken. I was going to say, if these vultures go up the ramp, they could potentially do a huge amount of drone damage, and the game might continue, but as it stands, the vultures actually just got taken out by the Sunken, so I think, yeah, this game is over. Desperately trying to repair that turret, but it's not enough, and now these mutalisks just going to go to town. Terran didn't have much left anyway. But yeah, this is a nice job by Packrat. He kind of came in with a good build here. The speedlings with a very nicely timed Spire follow-up, so honestly, he's looking strong. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm not totally up on how strong this group is supposed to be, but from this first game, I'm looking at this and going, Packrat's probably going to ace this group.
I mean, there's definitely a couple names I've recognized here, so, you know, initial MMR is going to be hard to kind of place how some of these things go. And again, I don't think Hugin's was totally outclassed, as we saw with that opening. It was a little unoptimized.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, such a delay on that first Vulture, trying to CC. Wasn't even like constantly making Marines and anything, kind of built up a gas bank. I think, you know, optimize that a little bit, all that damage doesn't happen, much different luck.
Well, you can see the idea was there. He just, I think this is the kind of thing, you know, it's one step. You look at what pros are doing, or maybe, you know, someone just told him, you know, and you get the idea, okay, you get a factory, you expand, you make Goliaths, and he has that idea, obviously, but hasn't studied the specifics of how to execute it, and so that's why it falls through. Because honestly, I would say even if you don't really understand what you're doing, you have more chance of success if you do it well in StarCraft.
Yeah, and I mean, that's also CPL, right? If this is like the build, it's like, oh, I want to learn this. Once you get on a team, oh, someone's going to teach you how to do that, so don't worry about it right now.
Absolutely.
So I like even just seeing the attempted kind of stuff, and just in case anyone's unfamiliar, if they just kind of watch these games, don't really play in the CPL so much, that initial, you kind of self-report your MMR. So it's very easy to, like, if you play during the wrong hours of the day, you don't play very actively, maybe you put a number that isn't super accurate. We'll find out as we soon move on.
Why are you promoting that? Damn, people are going to be like, oh, okay, I'm going to join CPL and try and do that. I should mention, by the way, if anyone in that stream did not join CPL, even though preseason is drawing to a close, it's not necessarily too late. You can always join a waitlist to get placed on a team as players inevitably drop out and become inactive. So don't think you've missed your chance. You can definitely still join CPL8 if you join the Discord. Do we have a link to the Discord in the chat? I'm not even bothered to do it because we have all these loyal chat members who can do it for us, right?
I saw some people in here, and the Nightbot just put one a little bit. I think we're good to go.
Okay.
You know what? I don't want to wait any longer. Just some pro versus pro action. You ready?
Let's do it.
Awesome. Yeah, cause see, this is another player that you're mentioning. It's like, oh, I'm not sure where these skills are. We're gonna see in this one. We got in the bottom right in teal. It's ARCADEWINDS.
Hold on, the overlay was still fading in, but there you go.
Okay, well, you can look at the bottom right. The color has not changed. It's still teal for us.
Yeah,
it's still ARCADEWINDS.
I know, I could change it any time. I'm holding this game hostage as blue, sorry.
And in the bottom left, I'm going to hold this introduction hostage. I'm going to drag it out.
Red, we have Ashen.
There
yes,
we go.
We have a PvP. Honestly, I wouldn't have changed it to red and blue just to mess with you, because I like when the colors are unique sometimes.
Yeah, but it is always nice when the top versus bottom gives us the choice to make the decision ourselves.
So ARCADEWINDS, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's coming up from tier 3, right? Originally. I mean, obviously not right now in a much better group than that. But is that right?
I believe so. Last season, Ashen's definitely been around for a while and
Yes.
kind of been climbing up the CPL MMR, really taking advantage of all the coaching lessons available to them.
Yes, absolutely. So both these players are, really going on that learning journey. And I guess it's time to show us what they've learned. And we don't know what to expect one season to the next, big improvements can definitely happen, and if you're inactive, regressions can also occur. Now, ArcadeWinds going out with this much earlier scout here than Ashen is. Ashen looks like he wants to make the gateway, and still, okay, he's going to send it now.
Yeah, I think, PvP, a lot of people like to worry that there's so many options. It is polypoid, so, proxying your gateway is a little bit more difficult than, say, on, like, a Fighting Spirit. But still, getting that scout out early gives you that chance to see the knowledge, see if it is something unusual to gateway without gas. It's still very threatening if you're not used to dealing with it. Nexus First is always a curveball you can throw on the 4-player map.
Yeah, I mean, in PvP, there's no shortage of, like, zany things you can do, right? But just aggressive. Obviously, the kind of constant, I guess, triangle of the matchup is well, do you get DTs, do you get robo, do you just make goons? And then within that, there's so many little variations. Now, interestingly, ArcadeWinds did not have gas here, but they do have a cyber. Now, I think it was even you who once said, you never get a cyber without gas, because it literally doesn't do anything. Is Ashen going to take the gas steal? Oh, okay, I thought he was going to do it. That would have been so good. But I think ArcadeWinds is just making a mistake here.
This is unfortunately definitely a mistake here, and you see now the gas going down, but the reason you get it so much earlier, besides the fact that you need your gateway to finish, it's 200 minerals for the cyber core to all this time. You need to start building up the gas to get your robo, to get your goon range. Goons cost 50 a pop. You need so much gas, you cannot delay. You can see here the ability to make goons, not even close, because there's no gas available.
And look at these poor probes lined up there, they're like, oh god, we missed our schedule pretty badly, huh?
And actually, that's a really, since we're still in the early parts, that's a bad thing to do, because you could just leave them there forever. In StarCraft 2, they'll go on in, you don't have to worry about it. In this game, they will sit there.
Absolutely. And honestly, I find Protoss suffers from that more, because you know how things warp in and they have a big delay. Now, hang on a second. There's Zealot and Probe coming up here, and technically a Zealot and Probe beats a Zealot. I don't know if you knew that, Saetzero. I know a lot about StarCraft. Okay, look, he's targeting the Probe there. Oh, and the Zealot gets stuck behind, actually. So, ArcadeWinds still going to win that fight, but not going to be as decisive as it could have been. And keeping that Probe alive would have been extremely helpful for further harassment. Now, the first goon is about to pop out for Ashen, but there is a Citadel on the way. But the Zealot looks like he's going to get kicked out before it sees that. Very unfortunate. That could have been an absolutely pivotal scout, even with the mistake ArcadeWinds committed. Scouting that Citadel really gives you a huge advantage here, but unfortunately, that Zealot is evicted.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate to not go and see there, because I liked that Ashen was cutting the corners. I'm getting that DT, I'm blocking the ramp as lately as I can. It barely didn't work out. That probe did help kind of make it through, but so close to getting seen. And with that delayed gas, Robo's kind of off the table to have observers in time. It's going to have to be forged, so if you're guessing, you're dead.
Well, ArcadeWinds is guessing that it's going to be Robo, because he's throwing down 3 gates here, and Ashen sees everything. He's probably just rubbing his hands together, cackling with glee. I imagine that's what happens when Press players going DT, right? They're just
got him.
Yeah, so I don't know what ArcadeWinds can do here. I mean, if he comes out quickly and the DTs say on the map, he could bust through, maybe do some counter damage, but I don't know what detection he's going to be able to have. The only option you have is a forge here, and if you don't already have that up, it's not really very good. Okay, that probe finally going to get taken out as the goon pops out.
This is, unfortunately, the classic this guy kind of game where people love to complain about this matchup, that it does feel a little random, DTs especially. It's if you don't get detection, it's just such an easy way to lose so quickly. Arcade could be trying to help out with some of this stuff. They're poking forward, seeing no nexus, seeing the lack of units on the ramp, defending. Maybe you can get some kind of intel to try to take the guess at it, but right now, DT's already on the map. No scouting information, and if you don't see that walking past your stuff and just into your base, this is just not how you want things to go. And there's going to be DTs for backup to make sure the counterattack's not going to be an option.
Yeah, I think he is going to try and go in for an attack, but if the DT just blocks the ramp, I mean, I think it'd be a pretty sure thing for Ashen. As you can see, he's trying to expand and put cannons here, but the thing is, that's only if your opponent is not doing such a build where they're just going to instantly die, or if they're going DT themselves, say. So I think he's fine just giving this up and holding the ramp. Now, the DT is at ArcadeWinds' ramp. Unfortunately, it does give itself away, but those goons are none the wiser. ArcadeWinds just oh, it's a DT, GG, and that's a fair call, to be honest.
Yeah, nothing you can do there, unfortunately. You could try for the counterattack, but if they made one DT, they got more ready for defense, as we saw.
Yes.
And that really, all that stems from if you just like missed your simulator, you got distracted scouting or something, it delays everything so much and really throws off your entire game plan.
Absolutely. Well, he almost saw it with the Zealot. It would have been honestly enough to bring him back in the game for sure. Look, all we can say from that game really is that you know, Ashen looked a bit more solid on the build. I didn't see any clear mistakes in his build order, but ARCADEWINDS didn't look bad by any means. Just, you know, one major mistake.
Yeah, it has especially week 1 of the preseason. If you haven't been really keeping up with the ladder, you've been taking a little bit of a break waiting for CPL8, it's gonna happen so quickly.
Alright, we're going rapid fire this game, jumping into the next one here. In the bottom right, in the red, he's back for more. We have Ashen, and in the top left, in the blue. Now, who is this actually? Because this is not Artosis, I can guarantee you.
This is not Artosis. Oh, what name did we have on this one? This is
it's Hugin.
Hugin's
AKA. I was confused because I thought it was probably Hugin. I'm like, wait, why would it be on a different name? But I guess he has different accounts. So yes, in the top left in the blue, it's Hugin. Not actually Artosis, I promise. But I don't know. Maybe he needs to harness Artosis's like anger and saltiness to fight Protoss. I mean, look, I feel like if you harness that energy in a productive manner, you could probably power like half of humanity.
I mean, are we really gonna say the way Artosis plays against Protoss is productive?
Not the way he plays.
Energy?
No. That's what I'm saying. It's not productive. It's not productive, all the anger and salt. But if it could be harnessed productively, it's like, you know, the sun. You know, the fusion energy is just constantly exploding out, right? And it's very destructive. But luckily, it's far away enough from us. We can enjoy it. Maybe it's the same thing with Artosis' anger. If we could just put it in like an enclosure where there was like, you know, a steam turbine, I think we'd be set.
Yeah, I am looking forward to seeing a little bit more of what Hugin could bring to the table, because we saw in that first game against PACKRAT, the build a little bit on optimized, got punished for moving out real early. That's a lot less likely to happen in this matchup without Cheese being involved. So if Hugin can get to that strive of being in like 2 bases, 3 bases, get into the late game, I want to see what they're capable of in a macro sense.
Well, you know, Depot to the right turns the light. So far this SimCity is just right. It's just perfect.
We got some time before things warm up. Why don't you educate the young people if they are unaware? What are you looking for SimCity in this matchup?
Okay, so look at this position in particular. Obviously, you want your Marines to be able to run through and Zealots not to run through, and both these spots near the CC and near the depot enable that. But also, you can put the factory over here on the right if you put an additional depot, and it actually blocks. So you can have this whole part of your base completely blocked off, which would be extremely beneficial.
All that makes sense to me. Even it's like not quite as big of a deal, but even just the really little things when you're looking at someone's base layout, it takes a little bit of practice and forethought. But like I like that we've seen both games. Ashen has really tried to hide the cybercore as far as possible. Try to any little info that you can hide away for a couple extra seconds.
If you have a gas, it's kind of like, well, you know, there's a cyber somewhere, unless they got a forge for that super fast +1. So like, I don't know about hiding the cyber. I'd rather if you put this second pylon way in the back and like put the gate somewhere. Because the thing is, when you first run in, you're looking for the gate because you don't know if it's a proxy, and they could of course have gas and cyber with proxy gate, of course. So putting the gate back further, I think, is more sneaky. Now look at this, the workers cross paths. Looks like their factory's coming up. Valk's playing pretty normally so far. Both players really. Range coming up right away.
Yeah, see, that's why I like hiding cyber a little bit. That cybercore upgrade is really important to see. Not that there is gas, but the upgrade is what you're really looking for. 2 Marines moving out, but this probe sneak spy is going to be able to get some good scouting info. Seeing no attempt to expand so far is great.
Hugin loves sending these Marines out, but I don't know if he's aware. Marines are big, like beefy boys who will baste your Marines. I don't know. I'm trying to think of more B words. They are not going to survive this encounter. I have to say, this is a bit unfortunate. Oh, but the green is cowardly. Okay, no, it will find its courage and defeat these Marines.
Yeah, but it is at least a distraction. The SCV does get through, sees the Nexus go down, and gets in the main, only sees 1 gateway. So a nice period of safety, knowing you're not about to get hit with 1,000,000 gateway units, so you can kind of take things slow and play patiently.
It could be even more than that, because it is Vulture first, but it didn't quite work out. I was going to say, maybe the Marines delay the goon on the map long enough that the Vulture can sneak out, but unfortunately the timing did not really work out like that. This Vulture is going to be out now, though. If you can sneak past your Dragoon, oh, that Marine. Alright, well, he does see it. He sees it pretty clearly, I would say. Man, it wants to pick a fight.
And this is not quite what you're looking for, but hey, so Vultures are fast. You can always move away. Does buy time for the bunker to finish, which I don't know. Did Ashen actually poke forward far enough to see if there was a CC started, or is
I believe
it
he did, but the CC
it?
wasn't actually started at that time, so
Yeah.
he might be thinking it's aggression. But if so, he's playing it very cool because he just got a robo on one gate. So look at this. He actually left his goons on the ramp here as well, expecting that Vulture to try and sneak out. Normally, when Terran goes Vulture first, they want to at least give Protoss the threat of coming to harass their pros by running up the ramp. So. I mean, Ashen very much respecting that, but I have to say Val because I don't think really using this Vulture to its full effect. Now look at this, we have another factory coming up right away, so Terran might be thinking of doing a little push here, like a pressure push. If Protoss goes for a third, you can potentially try and attack that, and depending what tech option they go, sometimes you kind of force them home a bit and it's beneficial for Terran. But it is cross positions, and he lost a couple of Marines already, got a Vulture already, so that's like slowing your tank production too, so I'm not so sure how I feel about this. It looks like 3-gate Observer going to be coming up, so Ashen looking very safe. Honestly, looking very strong so far.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, the opportunity to maybe push across would seems like it'd be good, but losing those Marines really kind of hurting, and we just see the Spider Mines being the first upgrade being researched just now. I don't know how comfortable you could be to move across the map, but if these players both play passive, I think Ashen is really in a great spot. Should be setting up for that third Nexus soon. Even has that nice little wall up at the front of their base, so just everything about how they're playing seems good, but Hugin, like, the SCV production is looking pretty good. Nothing about this build screaming like unpracticed like what we saw in the first game, so I'm looking forward to a much cleaner game.
No, definitely. I'm not saying this CC fact is a mistake per se. I just think there are concerns. The only real mistake was just sending those Marines out so far, I think. Now this Vulture's going to try and sneak out again. He's going to kill that probe, hopefully. Well, that's something.
Yeah, but seeing the move out, I love little stuff like that. That Ashen's covering the two main ways out. It's gonna see if a Vulture does try to do something, but finally going down. That probe's just waiting in position, waiting for the money for that Nexus, and we'll see. And did mine's?
Yeah, it's finished.
Yeah, yeah, they finished. I was like, that seems fast. It's been a while.
Well, it's faster than speed. He's getting speed right away as well. No siege mode to speak of. Now, I like that he's positioning anti-Reaver here. He's got his tanks and Marines in the main in case the Reaver just suddenly flies in. I mean, I guess he did scout it was one gate initially, but this is kind of scary. If Protoss just kind of came with their goons and ran into the natural, there wouldn't be much recourse for Terran with no siege mode here. A lot of damage would go down, but I suppose Protoss most of the time isn't looking to just randomly do that when they open with one gate.
Yeah. Now, if you ever hide in a pylon, like you're saying, maybe you can sneak some other kind of strategies to get your opponent to be a little bit worried about things. But
yeah,
Ashen is just playing very by the book. We think maybe they do something a little aggressive considering how they played PvP, but this is like the most standard kind of build I could think of, period, for us to do. Just throw it safe and get you everything you need to know.
This CC fact move out is coming out here now. The Marine only was taken, but as you can see, it's not a particularly easy location to attack. Oh my gosh, that Speed Vulture just runs right in there. The mine there not going to do anything. Observers are out. Oh my god, this gate is empty though. The goon pops out. Honestly, not using the mines in the most optimal way. I think if he kept going, he could have got in there. Barely gets blocked. But that does give some eyes on the army. These Vultures come in and lay some mines now, allowing the tanks and Marines to move in. Siege mode is not on the way, which may be a critical mistake here when you do these CC fact pushes. You have to follow up siege mode. Now, I don't think this Terran army can win this fight without siege mode, unless a really big mine hit goes down here. And the Vulture is dead now. The last mine goes down. Goon's getting on high ground. This looks terrible for the Terran. Focus firing those tanks, run away. I think this push is going to be absolutely cleaned up. Ooh, tanks getting low. There's Marines doing a lot of damage. Another Vulture coming up. Honestly, the Terran Force did better than I thought it would, but it still is going to get annihilated here.
Yeah, I mean, but at least like in a spot like this, it sucks for the Terran that you lost all your force, but he's still been making like workers behind this. He still has 2 bases, so it's not like it's game over just yet. But if Ashen wants to start putting on some counter pressure, could be an option soon as he starts building up his army. Still only 3 games of reduction, so I think it sucks to lose that attack, but I don't think the game's just over yet. But you're dedicated to being defensive.
Well,
now.
That helps. Did you see that mine hit? 2 goons taken out there. Look, I would say if you lose all 3 tanks this kind of push, you have to have something to show for it. Like if you kill the entire Protoss army, maybe. If you kill that Nexus, but he didn't do either of those. That mine just now made it look a bit better, but I really think Terran's very much on the ropes here. If they could sit back powering on 2 base for a while, it's okay, because Protoss is not expanding like crazy. In fact, Protoss is not even teching right now. I don't see a Citadel anywhere, so if Terran just chills for now, they definitely can come back.
Yeah. I think Ashen, just with what they see with the Observer in the base, is feeling pretty comfortable that they're going to be able to just kind of do what they are. I like that they're moving forward, put some pressure on. At least if the Terran wants to take that third base, which we see the CC being started. It's gonna be a little bit of a pay to clear out all these goons and actually kind of move to take that spot. So I think our boy Hugin's gonna have to be comfortable being defensive for a little while, build up, which at this point I think you add on some factories, get some armories, work towards later, because next 5 minutes, like, the attack's not going to happen unless you're trying to do some kind of, like, maybe like a drop or something. But realistically,
yeah, if I was Terran in this scenario, I'm looking at attacking at like 20 minutes. So
yeah,
you definitely need to sit back here, and he is doing so. And look, with how late Ashen said earlier is, he's not going to have very good aggressive options for any time soon. So potentially Valves can secure this base if he just moves forward carefully. Look, this is goons coming in, but the side better of it. Coming up this ramp here is a bit of a hassle. If he brings up a floating E-Bay, maybe it would help. But so far, he's doing a good job just inching his way out here. And he will take the CC sooner or later. Fourth base coming down for Ashen as well.
Yeah. I mean, I like taking the base just off in the corner like this. But I want to see if Ashen is comfortable just being on 4 bases, wants to really kind of get that like gateway count up, really work towards these arbiters, and kind of plan to be on this count. Or if they're going to take more bases, make it hard for Terran to push out. Like, if we take the other corner as well, it's like, you can kill one, but you ain't killing both.
You see the Goon in Ashen's base? That's not actually stuck, is it? Is it?
They might be.
Surely they can go right. Like, what? They can go right, can't they? Building exit is blocked? What? What building exit? Oh, this gateway. You see this gateway next to the Nexus? That's unfortunate. Is it building goons? I don't know. So, I don't know, some SimCity woes for Ashen. Oh, it looks like they are not blocked. I didn't think they were. They just need some encouragement to get out because, you know, goons be like that. Now, I'm a bit concerned. Valks has a lot of force kind of back towards the natural. Very little on the high ground here where the CC is. I feel like if Ashen made a determined attack, he could absolutely destroy this CC, or at least force it to lift and maybe kill it. Now look at this, he's going to come up. He saw what I saw, and he's like, you know what, there's actually like no tanks near here. They can take some pot shots from way back, but it's not really enough, and the CC forced to lift. In fact, it's probably going to die. It's getting so low. Oh my god, it's at 300 health. Vultures come in though, try and distract. Ooh, a lot of goons starting to fall now. Mines being laid. 100 health on the CC. 70. Oh my
it's
god.
burning, but all the damage goes down. Big mine hits do clear everything out. Ashen slightly overextending. As long as that happens, there it goes. Okay, yeah, there we go. On the way.
Oh my god,
now,
that mine though. I don't even want to say it was too good for Terran because it killed a lot of SCVs too, but I guess that is a lot of goons that just died. Oh my god.
Well, you say that, but still look at these worker counts. Yeah. Both players really doing a great job with that so far.
So that a little bit, but yeah, it's not bad. You're right. That was crazy. But he's still not moving forces up here. He hasn't really learned his lesson. Protoss could just come with the same attack, and honestly, given that Protoss is going up onto a 4th base here, I think if he makes that trade repeatedly, he's going to be in a fine position, especially since that CC is probably not going to be full health anytime soon. It's kind of...
So, just to play the devil's advocate about this, because you're saying, like, you're not trying to reinforce this, if he actually was in a defensive spot to protect this third, does he actually have the force to do it, or is this a lost cause? Anyway, you might as well just be like, if he doesn't attack me, great. If he does, minimal losses.
Well, there are no zealots that are available for this attack. There's some chilling in the natural. I don't even know if Speed got research, I didn't see. But with goons only, absolutely you can hold this if you just put some tanks up here and spread them. Like, there's no way goons alone will break this. The mines will do huge damage if the goons try and rush in too fast, and if they don't, the tanks will just shred them. So, absolutely he could have. Look, I guess if it works, you can't say his way was too bad, because that was dramatic, but the CC did survive. Big probe transfer going, and at this point, this showcases actually that Hugin has no map control really with vultures. There's no mines and expansions, so Ashen is a bit unchecked. Like, there's not even a wall at this ramp. Ashen is just going to town on this map, to be honest. And I'm kind of concerned though that we don't see more expansions. I feel like if Terran has secured this third, and Protoss is not determined to bust it anytime soon, you really want to see Protoss working his way up towards 6 bases here. But he's only sitting on 4, and I don't see any probes going out for a 5th anytime soon.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention when you were done. It's like, Ashen has all this freedom, which this is a big vulture move out. I don't know. He better be paying attention to that observer, otherwise this might be a little troublesome.
Well,
but the fact that Ashen hasn't...
He's been living in, like, you know, fantasy land where vultures don't come and kill you, so he has not walled this ramp. There's a couple of cannons, but 12 vultures can take that out if they find it. I do like that he's trying to lay some mines around, though. Vessel is out. What's the upgrades at? I think it's +1. Yeah, it's only +1. +2, not starting just yet. What are vultures shooting? I can hear vultures. Oh, the bug.
Yeah, the other problem, though, that we saw is, like, Ashen not taking the other expansion.
Oh, okay, they actually killed more vultures, it turns out. Never mind. sorry to interrupt you, but there was...
That's okay. It's not so bad.
No.
These Dragoons are going to find these vultures, get a lot of free kills, reset the unit count, but
okay,
all things considered, this supply difference is not as bad as it could be, given how many units have been killed from Hugin. Like, this is still pretty reasonable armies from both sides, and Ashen is, like, there's not a lot of zealots. There's a lot of gateways, but he was delaying the arbiters. Like, he had the ability, but it took a while to get them started, and they take forever to build. So I think there's definitely opportunities here where Ashen isn't leaning more into the economy or more into, like, getting ready for recall or something, and just giving Hugin a big chance to just get back in this game, as we're seeing.
Well, he did just lose 12 vultures, though, so that kind of counteracts the low zealot numbers, and he's sending more out. Now, not to say he's going to lose these necessarily, but if he does lose these inefficiently again, big attack could be very threatening because there's really not that much at home. Now, he's taking out those zealots very efficiently. That is a good move, and if he can lay mines on those gateways, it's probably worth it. More zealots coming in here. They got a lot of mines to get through, though, and looks like they're just going to run right in. Man, you can't tell zealots not to do that, huh? Ooh, you know what? This has been pretty good for Terran so far. Killing off a lot of zealots for free there. Another goon goes down as well. Now, there's too many cannons there. He cannot harass that, which is a good thing that Ashen built those. But you know what? During all this, we still don't see a 5th base from Protoss. Ooh, another goon, actually. Oh, no, same goon fell. So, I don't know, I'm kind of liking this harass this time. Just unfortunately lost all those other vultures.
Yeah, it's very, like, even though it is a lot of vultures, this is relatively low commitment for what he's getting on the map. And even if he's not doing the big damage, look at Ashen's army. It's all here. Yeah. It's not at the front of his 3rd base. It's not putting pressure on the map. You know, he's buying a lot of time, which EMP Shockwave is about to finish up. He's got these weapons.
I think this is actually me playing, because he's going up to 90 SCVs. This is what I always do.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, it's like, at what point is it too many workers? Is there a number? Is it 3 digits?
When Neblime is in the game, that's how you know too many workers. Like, I'd say anything over 70 is probably dicey in TvP.
Yeah, because at a certain point, it just eats into your actual army size. But honestly, I am much more impressed by any player that takes that edge. Like, when you stop making workers, you don't. That's why you just keep making them, and he has been very consistent about this so far. He might actually get to 100. I'd laugh if I saw it.
Well, it looks like he's going for it. Look, I mean, at lower tiers, it's probably not the worst thing to just have like 90 workers, but it's hard to get an efficient fight because your army's quite small. Look, he's maxed right now, but his army's not super big. Now, I was going to say before about the supply situation you mentioned, they're both maxed now, but you can see Ashen did end up banking a lot more. Now, he's finally taking this 5th base at the 3 o'clock. Vulture's going to go up here and mine the top right. We need to see what Terran's next move is. Looks like he's going to take the 12 o'clock, which I think is the good option. CC is on the way. But here comes the Protoss army. Oh, there's so many mines here for these zealots to run into. Oh gosh. One falls. Now, these vultures are in a bad position, but these zealots not paying attention. Looks like they can slip through, although I'm not sure what they're going to do now. Plenty of cannons around.
I mean, still, if you're just buying time and kind of resetting things, I don't think it's so bad, but I do want to see that next move. At least Hugin, the +2 is going to be on the way. Still pretty far off, but, you know, if you're working towards something like that, but, yeah, like you mentioned, this SCV count is really eating into the army strength here. Although, there is a move to take the 12 o'clock base, and that'll be even base count, which Protoss has no excuse for why they're still a 4 base at this point in the game. You definitely have the freedom to at least make a move.
5th base is on its way, it's 3 o'clock. It looks like he wants to take the 6 o'clock as well, but he does not. Yeah, and the thing about trading these vultures, actually, since he's maxed, he probably wants to try and get more tanks in, so even though that wasn't the most efficient, he did, like, kill some things, so it's a pretty good move to probably try and get rid of those. I just wish he'd placed all their mines first. That's the only thing, because he could put mines on the map. I mean, maybe this is something, like, a lot of level turners don't realize. It doesn't really matter where you place mines, it's still worth it. Like, just put the mines. It doesn't matter where your vulture is. At some point in the game, they'll become useful. Look at this running right into this base as well. There's so many gateways here. Oh my god, how many is that? There's 14 gateways in here. And how many in the main? 6?
More than 14. This is a lot.
God, there's 16 there, so we're up to 30 gateways, which, you know, is a good number. And look at this. Protoss about to put them to use. That Arbiter coming right in, the vessel is sleeping on the job. Again, this is me playing, this is what I do with my vessel. Look at that, he's probably going to get another stasis on these vultures. I do not think Terran has enough to hold off this location. Not to mention his army's out of position, way back down here on the low ground. I mean, that might help actually if you lift off this CC. The vessel's still not doing anything. I don't know if EMP is actually research. Okay, well, he did stasis more tanks there. Well, it looks like Terran might survive because they have all these units way back, but this 3rd is definitely falling.
Yeah, this is a lot of damage to go through here, and resetting all these tanks is going to be kind of a big deal here. And look at that resupply, 21 zealots on the way. The reinforcement, the second wave is going to hit like a truck. Those mines are at least going to help mitigate this, slow things down a little bit, but still, this attack for Ashen doing so much damage here. And you can just see when your army's not strong enough, when there's like not buildings or anything to help you out. You don't need recall, just send the boys, and Burroughs can get the job done with enough muscle.
Well, in the first place, he needed a lot of mines on that southern ramp, but also like his army was all just in this low ground valley when you really need it to be forward on the high ground, or you know, over on the other base if that's what's being defended, because it's not really doing anything here. Protoss isn't really going to run in between your two fortified bases usually. Now look at that, like I was saying, Terran survives, but well, you know, because he had 90 SCV, he still has 65 left. And he has some money to rebuild, so he's not necessarily out yet, but he is in for some dicey times. Nice mine placement here in the bottom left, blocking in those reinforcements. That's actually very important, and going to get some good efficiency if Protoss ever tries to go through that. So again, Terran is hanging on, but I don't know. There's 30 gateways saved. I don't know if Terran can deal with that. Oh, so many mine hits going down the bottom left, and I missed them.
Yeah, it's just more of the army going down. It's for the damage you've done, you'll lose reinforcements when you got that fat bank anyway to kill off a base and really put Hugin back, reset them back to the Stone Age. They got to rebuild all these tanks, which right now you don't see that many. Can't get on the map to get too many mines out, and actually could take another base up at the top right. Everything looking great, and just researching recall now. I was wondering why there wasn't an attempt at a recall earlier.
Yeah,
that
funny,
explains it.
Because I was just about to say, like, a single recall would win the game at this point because Terran's already kind of down their luck, although nice turrets there. But yeah, I guess that's why he didn't go for that. I mean, Stasis definitely did enough. We saw it took a pretty good engagement there, but look at this army just streaming across the map. Oh my gosh. Ashen is relentless. Look at this, he's just going to go straight into those zealots. He doesn't care. He's got money, he can remax in like 5 seconds. Now, this may be a mistake.
There's not that many months.
Well, they are streaming up to this ramp instead, but there's a fair number of vultures here to fight them. I don't know about this. Well, Terran just doesn't have that much, I guess. That was really inefficient for the Protoss, but it's still probably good enough, just given how much he has. And
look at the pressure also at the third,
yeah,
trying to take
really
that
good.
base again. Just enough army. And he had a lot of stasis right too. He didn't even really have to utilize those that much. So again, just resetting his army count, look at the supply difference. 30 gateways kicking in, still just building so many units out of them. Yeah. So Ashen could take these bad trades. He's ready for the remax anyway.
Building Exodus blocks though. Yeah, this is actually that was actually so inefficient for Protoss, and yet he's still crushing through, just because he has so much production. And honestly, this is really impressive from Ashen that he's able to get up on this many gateways and produce so much. If I ever play Ashen, remind me not to let him get to late game. Just deal with him early, because this is scary. Oh, that mine. These mines, I don't know whose side they're on, but they've sure been killing a lot today.
Yeah, it's just a lot of units going down from both sides. Finally, that work account for Terran's starting to fall off as that. A couple more zealots still doing the damage.
Yeah.
Drag a mine to the SCVs.
Well, GG. He asked him to report, he doesn't have to do it himself. Fair enough. And that's the game. I think winner reports is probably a good system.
It is, but I don't know if that's just something that Artosis might say as well on the stream, like report this guy is cheating, he's hacking.
No, I'm sure he's talking about reporting his CPL results, which is a good reminder for all of you out there playing. Don't forget to report your results and upload the replay. Down to 27 SCVs. Sad. Coldwalkgate says a spider mine has no friends. That's probably true.
It does not. But you know what? They don't need friends. They kill their friends. They are just toxic people. You don't need spider mines in your life. I bet Terran actually. You shouldn't even get them anymore. They're bad. They're bad for you.
Okay, I'll make you a deal. If you don't build zealots, I won't build vultures.
That sounds awful. But no zealots. So like Forge Expand, Rush Carrier. Maybe.
Well, you can go straight for goons.
I could go straight for goons. I do go straight for goons. I'm a 10-15 boy.
There you go. He needs to bump with cannons. All right, let's jump into that next game. Keep Group 19
Absolutely.
going. Someone in chat, like, you know, Packrat says winner reports is the way to go. YTKids says that's why I never report. Alright, in the bottom right, in the blue, we have Egg Boy. I believe this is still Packrat, is it not? No, wait.
No, because he's fighting against Packrat.
wait, who is this then? I didn't think we had another Zerg in the group. Do we have a race?
No, this is YOITSFLASH, so I guess they are doing a race back.
Okay, yeah, well, that's confusing. Oh, that makes sense, actually. Yeah, Egg is YOITSFLASH.
Oh, no, so the games I see on him, he might be playing Zerg this season.
Oh, okay, so slight mistake from our end, but this is YOITSFLASH, aka Egg. And in the top left, it is actually Packrat in the red. That makes sense.
Hold up.
Yeah,
Don't say on our end.
I
gave you every matchup today. I wrote them all.
No,
don't say alright. This is not alright.
Effort. It's team. It's a team play. You know, sometimes everyone's just got to take responsibility. Hey, look. To be fair, you gave me him as Protoss, didn't you?
No.
Oh, you didn't.
I have Packrat as YOITSFLASH ZvZ.
Oh dear. Well,
that's okay. Hey, I can't bust your balls too much about this because we're just not going to have that much time in ZvZ. You know, this is a matchup that tends to go very fast.
Right. Thank God that he doesn't have much time to roast me.
Yeah, we will figure it all out. It's okay. But we got a little extractor trick from YOITSFLASH, so still building up that drone count. We'll see if it ends up being like a 12 pull or hatchery first. Packrat keeping their gas, though, instead. And then we do see that pull on the way, so it looks like, you know, again, they have the option to get that lair on the way or fast sling speed in comparison to the opponent, and it does look like it is 12 pull from YOITSFLASH.
It was actually at 11, which is slightly confusing. He's getting it slightly faster. Still getting Overlord and then drones after it though, so it's kind of an in-between between Overfull and 12 pull. Not really sure what the benefit is. Maybe he's going for the speed at a critical time or something like that. We see Packrat, of course, getting the gas so much faster here. And I assume he's going to be going up for a lair right away here. I don't expect we'll see speed right away from him, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, especially on a map like this. Like, if you had Eclipse, you had all that perfect scouting information, you can make those good decisions, but 4-player map, neither player got lucky with the Overlord scouting game, so playing a little bit in the dark on both sides, and drone scouting in this matchup, it costs too much. It's hard to want to commit yourself to doing that, so both players going to be playing a little bit in the dark. Lings will be the first information they're really going to be able to get.
Alright, people in chat before were saying other races have elevator music. Now they can hear the sweet Zerg soundtrack and know that they've spoken wrong. Look at these Overlords coming together. Oh, are they even going to see each other?
Eventually? Yes, just barely. Just barely.
Alright, so now they know where each other is. There we go, and immediately Flash corrects course, but Packrat's still going the wrong way, actually. He used to correct that. Ooh. Lings are out and they're just defending. Which is odd choice of a 12 pull. I suppose if a 9 pull is coming, you need to do that. But I guess he's just playing super safe. And like I said, did go for a lair right away, so that actually kind of makes sense. Whereas you see Flash did go for speed right away, but he's still mining gas for a lair himself, I believe.
Yeah, it should be able to start working on that. The extra hatchery, though, you know, slowing things down. And in comparison, things were already slowed down a little bit from the later pool. So Packrat's definitely going to have the lead with the mutas, which, you know, if you show up and the anti-air is not available, the cross spawns are at least going to buy you some extra time, but we'll see if it ends up being enough.
Well, I mean, Packrat committing a bit of a mistake. I think he definitely should have gone for an expansion here. So here's the thing. Flash will have an expansion. Oh, he built it in base. Again, I think that's just a mistake. Because he won't have access to a second gas.
I don't. Because we watch all these and we see so many games where you don't want to invest all those defense into defending 2 locations. You can defend the ramp here. For a while. You don't need the second gas.
Oh, for a second I was freaking out because he didn't even have a lair and he got a third hatch, and I was like, no, not again. But okay, looks like Egg is going to go for spores here, but he's also going up to 3 hatch, so I'm not sure what the plan is. And look, Packrat has the ling count advantage, so I definitely think he could have got a natural. I don't agree with you at all that, yeah, there are risks, but there's no reason he shouldn't have known that, like, of all the possibilities, 9 pools like already passed. If it's a ling all in, then you want to have the natural anyway and be able to defend that. So I don't know. I think he really should have taken it there. Instead, he's building it in base, but he is going to have the mutas before he's doing anything else. We have Carapace upgrade coming up. Now, if he's not going Hydras, why would he be upgrading anything in Evolution Chamber? If he is going Hydras, why would he not get missiles? Is Carapace better because of mutas bounces? I don't know. I'm not familiar with Hydra lists. In any case, he really needs to get on these spores soonish because these mutas are morphing.
I mean, realistically, I just love the disdain in your voice. The sigh of defeat. It's like, it could happen. It might be Hydras. Son of a bitch.
Basically.
That's why I'm here for, man. I didn't look at this game.
People were saying Neblime will love this group.
No, I purposely didn't because I know what that's going to be. I know you don't want that life.
Look, my objection to Hydras is a lot of the time I see these games, I just think, well, okay, one player's way ahead. If they got mutas instead, they could have won like 10 minutes sooner. Yeah, they won with Hydras, but because they already won because of another reason. Like, look at this Ling attack, right? If this does a lot of damage, and instead of getting this third hatch, if Egg just had like a layer behind this, would he really not be better off? But let's see. the mutas are out, and they can help defend this ramp very ably, so I don't think Egg's gonna get much done here. Like, Mutal is surprisingly devastating against Servants. But that is a lot of Servants. But no, I think Packrat will slaughter this. I can't even see underneath what's going on.
Yeah, he's losing too much stuff here. Mutas are shown, so now you have to invest in the spores. You're gonna lose drones going for it. We do see YOITSFLASH now actually down the drone count, way down on the tech. And yeah, there's Carapace, but what's Carapace really gonna do for you, like he's saying at this point? But just imagine, if that hatchery was at the natural, there's an opportunity to do some big damage. But
I still
it wasn't.
As you can see, the Mutalist would have been able to defend. Like, I don't know, I think he still would have been fine. And he could have got a Sunken there as well. Now, what's this? Another a Sunken coming out for defense in the main for Packrat. I suppose he does have his defense localized, but the problem is, even though Egg is really not in a great position, he does have a natural of his own, so he kind of has ways to come back. Now, this hatchery might die because there's nothing here, and he has enough Mutalist to deny his spawns coming up. Oh, gotta be careful though. Oh, taking a lot of damage there. Does not. I'm pretty sure he.
Can't he harass the bottom of that mineral line in the main outside the spore range?
Yes, but there's another one coming up. So, honestly, going after this hatchery, I think it's a perfectly profitable use of your Mutalist. Gonna have to question what Egg's plan is here. Because, I mean, I hate to say it, we don't see a Hydra Den yet. And he has no lair, so he's got to do something. Because he can't just be sitting here building spores all game. I mean, eventually Packrat will expand himself, right?
Yeah, definitely going to be an option. Because these mutas are seeing everything that's coming out. You don't even have to worry about anything. So if you want to get the expansion, that's easy to do here. You can invest just more in the mutas as well. Just your opponent will never be able to move out or anything. More investment in some of this stack defense. You can see it's eventually it will be good, but it's just you can see the supply difference. It's just gonna be really difficult for YOITSFLASH to get any map presence for a long time.
Well, it's okay because +1 Carapace is finished, so Egg clearly has the advantage now. He's gonna kick some ass. I really want to see him get +1 melee and just like upgrade those lings, or +2 Carapace even. What's he gonna get? Although Lair is on the way now. He's stopped mining gas, however, so I'm not sure what the plan is here, if he is going to go for Mutalist of his own. Packrat, I think, really needs to take an expansion here, or come up with some kind of plan to attack. I don't know if a Ling attack at the front is really going to work with this Sunken, and like, oh, with +1 Carapace, those Lings of Egg will actually be pretty strong, right?
Yeah, they should be, but still, it's just... These spores can't go attack. They can't go do anything.
This isn't StarCraft 2. You can't just uproot them.
Yeah, I do like, though, the drone count is really getting there. You know, eventually maybe there's going to be a plan. Lair will finish up soon. You do have access to a second gas eventually, which would be good. Yeah, the Packrat still has not expanded, but they're adding on a lot of links, and I think you're just going to go for the throw because there's not that much anti-ground defense. You get the one Sunken at the front, a handful of lings, and you get the Muta in there. You could just suicide into some of these lings that Sunken before the lings even get there.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the play. If you just right-click on them and Sunken, they'll splash on the lings a bit too. I think it will be enough. And look at this. He's going to try and get whatever he can. He's doing a great job of just like picking off anything that Egg puts out, you know, in the wrong place. Because like that hatchery, for example, he just knew instantly that there's no defending that. And here comes the attack now. Will we see him suicide the Mutalist? Yes, he will. What a great move here, actually. And they do so much damage to that Sunken. It's not going to last long at all. There's not that many lings here for Egg. I think this is going to be a pretty cut and dry defeat here. Nice work by Packrat. GG.
Yeah, a little extra flair on the GG too.
Yeah.
Always being the showman.
Yeah.
And I still always respect when we got these players that have been around before playing on the race and use CPL as the opportunity to let's switch it up, let's learn something new, because that is so difficult to do. This game's already hard enough. Why do you gotta do this to yourself and learn second race?
What are they saying? Packrat's gonna ace this group. He knew exactly what to do there. I'm impressed with that attack. That, you know, the idea there is like, okay, well, yes, you have a lot of spores, but what if I just sacrifice the Mutalist? And not that they even all died, they were still plenty alive. Because they take out that so fast.
He knew what to do, and you kept calling out the expansion question, though. So it's like, I think even if you just go on the metagame...
me, I guess.
Well, even just think about the metagame level. If you're playing an opponent that's playing a new race, they're probably going to do something a little more aggressive, a little more, I don't want to take this game to go long.
I still think he could have got an expansion and done that. But we'll leave that. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Here in the top right, in the navy, we have Egg. And the bottom left, in the brown, we have Hugin. Yet to see other player win a game. Hopefully this is their time.
Yeah, I love the just complete ridiculous alts here. Like, it's Egg Boy versus Artosis, apparently.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, seamless. So another ZvT here. Now, I hope Hugin has a different strategy than the not quite correct Goliath builds. But I don't know. Maybe against Egg it would succeed since Egg presumably doesn't have as much matchup knowledge. I guess we'll see how we go.
Yeah, it's me, especially considering that YOITSFLASH was originally playing Protoss, right? So like this is both sides of a matchup you probably wouldn't be as experienced with, so it's not even like use knowledge against it.
That's what I mean, though. I mean, maybe he has a bit more of a chance here. Well, okay, we have cross positions again here on Polypoid. Seems to happen a lot, I guess. I'm just thinking, if he's going for a gas build, honestly, I don't like it as much for Terran. Because later you want to really be aggressive with those Goliaths and just suddenly push in. And honestly, with mech later in the game as well, you're better off being closer. But we'll see. He could go for bio here. In which case, again, it's kind of dicey for Terran because they want to come across and do a timing before mutas are out, for example. It's longer to walk. But let's see.
So, I mean, what strategy would you want to see then? Because you just said you don't like either. The way you said that.
just go CC first and make SCVs. Now, we do have a pool first coming up from Flash, by the way. So probably going to just get 6 lings off the bat and go put some pressure on. I don't think he's trying to kill Terran with this, but if Terran is not paying attention and like doesn't defend himself properly, you can suddenly do huge damage just by making 6 lings right away, a bit earlier than Terran expects. And there's an anti-proxy measure too. Like, there's no way Terran is going to win with a proxy barracks against like a 12 pool.
Yeah, we'll see what it ends up being, and especially if the scouting info, if you react to what you're seeing and knowing how to handle this. Now, I mean, I know way back in the day, you do the 9 pool, you throw out the 6 lings, a lot of people just panic. They have no idea what to do, and this is back when everyone was just playing bio anyway. Like, if you're going this gas first, you're getting this Goliath and all that kind of stuff, it's really down to the Vulture, right? Like, you got to get it on time. Which we saw in the first game, it was not on time.
If you're going 9 pool in particular, you're screwed against gas as long as you don't kill them right away. Because not only can they get the Vulture and deny your lings as soon as that's out, then they will get a Wraith. And you will have a hell of a time getting a response to that if you've done 9 pool. And even say you go for spores or whatever and you don't take any damage, you invested so much in defense and you were already behind at the start, you're in a really bad position if Terran just goes on to play like 1 base bio.
Yeah.
Like,
now, I'm not...
Let's keep...
Yeah, I'm not sold on what we're seeing here, though. We got the early pool, not a fast gas, only these 2 lings that don't even block the ramp, unfortunately. That's not the way you want to be going through this. And it's like, I guess if you want to get more drones, if you're worried about cheese, like, you have the pool there, but this whole build is this... You don't see something like this for a reason, right? Like, it's got to be setting you back compared to just getting the hatchery first.
Yeah, I'd say it's an inefficiency. The gas is very late too. Oh, okay, look, the main problem I have right now is the gas timing. But I would say getting the pool first like that and not making lings isn't necessarily that bad because you could just say he's being safe for proxy or whatever. It's okay. But now that he's not even getting gas, he's going to have severe problems, especially if Terran, like, goes into a Wraith and just brings a Wraith over. You really don't want to be making spores. If you have no gas, you can't make Hydras, you're not going to have mutas quickly. You know, if you go 2 at muta, the Wraith is not that scary because your Spy is going to be done pretty fast, but he still has not started this gas, so I'm not sure what he's going to do. Build slow lings all day. Once again, we see who can go for this low ground bunker. Again, maybe it's a fake out, not sure. Maybe he plans to expand soon. Vulture is coming out in a little more timely manner this time, though.
Yeah, I mean, especially with no gas, no tech on the way. It is a lot of hatchery, so, you know, big production. A 4th hatchery going down now before gas. So really trying to get this big macro engine going. Lots of larvae available, but a Vulture gets through. We'll see if that Sunken does get more from time. It is starting, but the Vulture already on the map. Doesn't get distracted by that ling. Try to get there.
Neither of them got distracted by it. Too serious. Sunken's finished pretty quickly. I'm pretty sure it'll be done in time. If you're super determined, you can probably run up that ramp with like 2 hit points left, but I don't think we're going to see that here. That bunker with 4 Marines really kicking that ling's ass. Now look at this. We don't see a CC. We see a second factory. Oh, that Vulture. Oh, I don't believe he survived that. We see a second factory coming up here. No expansion. So I don't know if Terran is not aware how late the gas was. So I'm not sure what the plan is here. Another hatchery going up. Looks like Egg is just like, okay, you know, I heard Ling's a good unit. I'm just going to go with that. And honestly, it's not a bad idea, but look at this gas, the kind of like go around the side gas. Okay, I don't know if that's actually slowing it at this point. Looks like it is very slightly, unfortunately. So full efficiency, you need a 4th on that. But hey, if the only thing is going to get is ling speed, maybe he doesn't.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that we kind of glossed over a little bit, it's like, yeah, you got the factories, like, Steam a little bit out of order. He started an Armory and canceled it, and then got a machine shop, now working on a CC now. So, I don't know if he scouted something, he's like, I don't like what I see here, or he was, like, going for, like, I hope the Vulture gets in, that's my only plan. And it's like, it just didn't work out that way.
Well, we got a a lair, even though we want to like 4 hatches right away, so no lings are coming across. Vulture speed on the way, which is okay, but it's not really going to help you in the long term if mutas start coming out. The thing is, Goliath range is a very slow upgrade, that's why you kind of need that armory quite early. Now, eBay is coming up. He's not really aware of what the Zerg is doing though, so he might be compelled to make turrets early when he doesn't really need them. And he's honestly relying on turrets alone, which if mutas were coming out is not a good time, I can tell you that. Double gas here for Zerg as well, so I assume he's going to go into Mutalist as soon as his lair is done. But what is he doing with all these hatcheries? Another one on the way! My gosh, what is he going to produce out of these?
I am not sure. Like, if you only had the Zerg vision right now, I'd be like, I think he's trying to play against Protoss in a very weird way.
This is ZvP and he lost his 3rd and 4th. Like, that's the only way this makes sense, right? Or it's like TvZ at like 40 minutes in the game and he lost his 3rd and 4th. But then again, why would he be on lair only? Okay, these speed vultures coming across. Well, a lot of links got made, but no link speed right now, and speed vultures are out. Link speed almost done. Ooh, he does not want to try it. He does not want to try that. That is very well defended against vultures, if nothing else. But he does have his expansion, so honestly, I'm still liking how Terran looks. We'll see what Zerg can manage to produce off this obscene number of hatcheries here. I kind of want him to make one more. Come on, Egg, just make one more.
I mean, I think it could happen here, but it's still end of the day, though. Like, there's some parts of this build for Terran that didn't work out. Like, things got canceled, things got out of order. But because of such the slow tech, letting the drones get up, it's 2 base versus 2 base. No harassment's really gone down. You see the Spire on the way and really building up resources. So when mutas come, they're going to come in a hurry. Or just a very fast Queen's Nest. Is this just rushing the hive? We're not even getting mutas just for Scourge?
Yeah, I mean, it is useful if dropships or vessels are coming along, but I don't know, he's got to make at least a few Mutalists, right? Thing is,
I would... What if it's Guardians, though? Oh, my heart would soar to the heavens. This is a Guardian rush.
Do you need this many hatcheries, though? Because, I mean, Guardian's pretty expensive on a per lava basis, aren't they? In fact, I'm pretty sure a Guardian costs the same as an Ultralisk on a per lava basis, so you shouldn't need this many hatcheries. Actually, no, they cost less gas, don't they? Anyway, he only has 2 gas, so...
Listen, this isn't about you and your efficiencies and your math with numbers and stuff. This is about your feeling, that core gut visceral moment where you're like, well, I'm going to hive tech.
My core feeling is that he's going to get Ultralisks. That's my core feeling.
That seems very... Well, see, that seems very reasonable, except the one thing is that there's no Evo chamber yet, no upgrades on the way.
With how whack things are so far, I don't think that really factors into it, to be honest. Mutalists are on the way here, and look at this, these lings just run right in. all these SCVs from both bases are like, you know what, not today, we're going to deal with this. You lings have bullied us for too long, time to fight back. And you know what, they cleaned that up pretty well, to be honest. That was really not that worth it for Zerg. But he does have 5 hatcheries, so he can make a hell of a lot more.
Yeah, and it does get you knowledge that, you are confirming it is Goliath being made. No starport on the way yet. If you feel comfortable, you got in enough to see the lack of that. So if it does end up actually being that Goliath thing, that little water above the natural is going to be juicy to just throw some units on and start hitting harass.
Yeah, true. Now, these vultures see the Mutalists out running underneath them. And they're actually going to hit the vultures. This is a fine use of Mutalist. I think he saw, that there was pretty good muta defenses up at home. There is no Goliath range. We'll say Goliath's about range are actually a pretty bad unit. So he really needs to get to work on that. The Mutalist's not going to come and harass the base. That seems there are a lot of turrets up, so they probably wouldn't be worth it anyhow. But if you ever want to leave your base, and the bigger Goliath range is in the way now, if you ever want to leave your base, you definitely need Goliath range.
Yeah. The biggest thing I'm worried about right now is we're looking at YOITS over here. He's still on 2 base, and there's mines at the close next gas bases. So it's like you're gonna know the exact timing, or you're gonna have to settle for the mineral base, and you don't really have the map control to even try to go for one of the corners, just sneak it out, take another mains kind of thing. Like, this whole thing feels pretty rough, but we do see Hive is done, Mutas plenty on the field. Maybe we can get something done with them, and we're getting some upgrades going, but still no real choice on that hive tech yet. It's not the Filers, not Ultras, no Greater Spire, nothing yet.
Where did this one Goliath come from? Yeah, look, it's a great move by Hugin to get those mines down. He knows the gas base is what he cares about. He didn't even try and put any of the mineral bases, which, you know, a lot of people make that mistake, but that's a good job. And look at this, this drone doesn't even get to fail and place its hatchery, it just gets murdered. So yeah, this is pretty hairy for Zerg for sure, but we'll see what his choice of hive tech is. He's just getting Adrenal right now. Again, it seems like Lings are his plan, but I mean, you get enough Goliaths, they're actually extremely good against Zerglings, more so than a lot of units actually, because they just, you know, kill them so quickly before they can get any damage done, and each individual Goliath takes a fair bit of damage to die, if he hits that critical mass. Because the thing is, Zerg doesn't have any upgrades, like you mentioned. Now, these Mutalisks look like they want to pick a fight, but I mean, I don't really see this happening very well. There's a lot of turrets there. Oh, look at that, he just takes a little peck and is like, guess I'll kill this one turret. Goliath's kind of AFK right now, they need to come support. Okay, they do move over, but yeah, there's no way this is going to be worth it for Zerg. He's just trading off Muta HP for a single turret there. Do you think he's going to go for drop here and do like a massive Ling drop or something? Because he did get pneumatized Carapace. Well, 12 more Lings on the way. He just loves Zerglings, man.
Yeah, I'm really not sure what I'm looking at here, and I don't mean that because sometimes, you know, we have fun, we poke jokes and that kind of stuff, but it is just kind of a collection of, you've got these tech, you got these choices, but none of them are really meshing well together in my mind. We've finally seen like an air attack upgrade, but that's still not a greater Spire. There's adding on mutas, but that could have been so much earlier. You got like this hive tech, but what are you using it for? Finally, Ultra's on the way, but there's no Evo chamber. Like there's just a whole bunch of things.
Then it's
yeah,
gonna be
ultimately, okay, yeah. Late games is eventually going to be Ultras.
Okay, a lot of Lings come across, but as long as Terran brings up all the forces he has, he can definitely hold this expansion. Now, these two Goliaths on their own are definitely not going to do the job. Okay, he's going to move up more of them. These mines actually pose a severe threat. I just realized, oh my god. Okay, turns out they did more damage to the Zerglings, which, you know, actually makes sense for once. But yeah, this is not the kind of force you can take on this many Goliaths with, honestly. Like, the Lings kind of don't do anything when you get this many Goliaths. That one Ling really going to town at the CC, not going to be enough in the end. More Goliaths continue to stream out, actually almost the ideal unit against what Zerg has right now. That one tank but 9 kills, just not engagement too.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really talked about the thing, but I do, like, siege mode is done. It looks like we're making vultures, so this is like the full mech at this point.
Absolutely.
And getting this third base here, is this enough bases where you feel comfortable, or do you need to secure another gas?
Oh, absolutely, against 3-base Zerg, this is fine. Because mech, you know, you need less bases even than normally in TvZ. So, this is good for Terran. Terran's in a great spot, I think. And honestly, against mech, the rule that Zerg should be behind supply is not really the same. So the fact that Terran is so much up in supply is also really good. But getting spread out with your army like this is not good. You really need to just bunch it back, you know, and get together like a little turtle shell. But unfortunately, losing a few Goliaths here, he's going to pull back. Reinforcements coming up, and I think Terran still has enough to hold here, just a bit inefficient losing those units. We'll see if Zerg commits. Zerg is going to pull back. But yeah, he really needs to set up properly around this CC, because I'm just worried his army's always out of position. But again, Zerg bleeding more units coming in a little bit at a time, and they're just getting slaughtered, really. Is there enough Goliaths to actually do all these Mutalisks, though? That's the question. Looks like there might not be.
Yeah, there's too many Lings even here. Without too many upgrades from either side, really. You can see cleaning up that ground force, resetting the unit count. Both sides losing a lot, though. But Larva has built up. Ultra's on the way. The plating is going to be finished up soon. But I feel like Ultras aren't quite as good when you're fighting against, you know, dedicated mech.
That's right, especially
not quite as effective.
But again, it really seems like Hugin is thinking he's defending down in the natural when he really needs to defend this CC. And honestly, he would have won that fight very easily if all his units were just clustered around the CC. Now, he did put a few mines, but it's really not going to be enough. He needs a lot to the Ultra. Look at all the Lings coming in. My god, oh god, those mines.
Yeah.
Man, like we said, mines have no friends. Okay, he does clean it up, because conveniently it was all Vultures coming out next. And these Mutas are still a menace. There's only a couple of turrets around here, and they're not really that injured. They could definitely take out the space, and look at that, cleaning up those mines, an excellent move as well, because the Ultras are out. They are kind of blocked by their friends right now, and he got chitinous, but I don't think he got the speed upgrade. And he has no actual upgrades. Okay, these Mutalisks trying to come in here. No repair going down these turrets. Where are the Goliaths? Uh-oh. Terran took a lot of damage here, but like in that other game, he's putting a lot of SCVs. Uh-oh, though. This 12 o'clock. Oh, no. Okay, there's only 3 drones here, so it's not going to be a mass murder, it's just going to be a triple homicides day.
But still, this is a gas base that Flash desperately needs right now. He needs his gas.
He blows up his own vultures putting mines on lava, unfortunately.
Oh no.
But yeah, like he takes out one side, he can't take out that other one. I think that side actually wins. It's going to be close, but in the meantime, his third is getting ravaged. The Goliaths finally come out, but the Ultralisks are coming across the map alone. Oh, I don't know. This is probably going to be a disaster for Zerg. If Terran just brings his army up next to the CC he's trying to defend. If only. He really just needs to bring this forward. I don't know what else to say. This Ultra is going to get taken out by the mob of SCVs, though. This is the game where SCVs fight back, for sure. And yeah, like, these Ultras just aren't enough, as it turns out. Terran +1. There's no actual upgrade, just it's enough to deal with that.
I mean, maybe if these things came in too, but he's sending a couple Ultras and he's setting up this like flank.
The proper fight will come soon. Now that Sunken did win that fight over there. These Vultures picking off these whole positionlings. Oh, poor things. They had no chance. Again, Terran with all these tanks sitting way back. This CC is at risk. A lot of SCVs transferring, but he does have a lot of SCVs in general. Okay, this Goliath finally here to deal with the Mutalist Menace. Terran's sort of stabilizing. What is Zerg waiting for to pull the trigger here? I don't know. Well, he probably doesn't have enough now anyway. Okay, the tank's finally moving up. Looks like Terran will finally stabilize in this position. Did not start +2, unfortunately, which could have been a huge advantage given how sluggish Zerg is in upgrades. Now Zerg starts +1 carapace.
Yeah, the biggest problem that I'm like looking at this though is like, even though Terran's being over defensive, they don't want to get on the map, they can't really get anything moving forward. I would have loved to see this science facility way earlier. Getting into some vessels would have been really good against what we're seeing here.
Absolutely.
But it's still just that lack of gas. Finally mining that from that third base of gas. It's setting up this big flank of stuff, but it's still all an upgrade. Still no ultralist speed. Just working on a ground care pace now. Like, this isn't going to be a scary ground army, and there's no defilers to like make them a scary army. So it's like, I just don't feel like this is going to be enough. All these attacks just kind of trading it back and forth and keeping this kind of stalemate situation where no one's actually getting anything done, which is better for the mech army.
Absolutely.
Right?
Look, you're absolutely right about mech. If you're going for 3 bases or more with mech, you're not going to end the game on 2. Getting those science vessels is a key move for sure, and you need it for those upgrades, right? Now look at this. Zerg doing an excellent job trying to clear these mines with Zerglings. Oh my gosh, that was scary. So he's really trying to clear out the defenses here. I still don't think he really has enough though. +2 starting now for the Terran, now that his science facility's done. Vulture's moving out again, probably trying to harass the 12 o'clock, and quite frankly, 2 Sunkens is not enough. All those drones will die if Terran commits to that. Looks like he's going to hit the top left though.
I mean, still stopping more hatches from going down, keep it on 3 base. I think you feel very comfortable with that as Terran right now.
Yeah, this Force of Ultras is menacing, but it is not enough to bust this position with so many mines there as well. Oh, that's so many Vultures coming up. I mean, I think the first group is actually enough to kill all the drones, but he's gonna have like a follow-up group if he needs it. And yeah, this is where mech really gets quite hairy for Zerg, because you just can't stop this. And it's just so much more efficient for the Terran. You need like a ridiculous number of Sunkens or a lot of Hydras hanging around.
Yeah, I get the feeling though, with the army really kind of building up here, we're gonna see that move from Egg Boy soon, right? Like, I feel that impatience is starting to build up. There's too many army that's sitting there doing nothing. When you're building like this, just kind of ground melee units, like you're not building that to do nothing. The Vultures keep moving forward here, gonna keep forcing harassment. I think this is gonna cause action to happen at some point because you can't just keep waiting around forever.
Well, I think he's waiting for Ultralist speed. These Lings getting destroyed, unfortunately. Ultra's too slow to help them out. By the time he gets there, they're dead already now. Ultra's could kill them if they don't micro. Honestly, if you've micro Ultras, they're not bad. Here comes the big attack, though. Mines going down a bit. That is a lot of Ultralists. Oh, but so many of them hitting at the north. All the mines are... Well, surprisingly, they get through a lot of them, but there's a few left. A few tanks here, but there's no Vultures to back this up. Mines drag onto the tanks. There's a lot of Ultralists left over. They might actually clean this up. And Terran not pulling back the Vultures yet. Ooh, it's a near thing, but I think Zerg broke through here.
I mean, I think it's just going to be another one of those that everything gets reset again. These 2 mutas are actually going to be the star of the show and just kill off all these SCVs eventually.
Yeah, I guess Terran barely cleans up, and there's a little reinforcements. There you go, last tank falls. But what is... Oh my gosh, I just realized Terran has 5 tanks inside. I didn't even see that. Okay, so no, you know what? Zerg never had a chance here. Terran was 1 step ahead. He just had all this stuff sieged up, so when the Ultralist goes to the mineral line, it just gets nukes. Look at that. I mean, yeah, he's losing SCVs, but I mean, that's not really the big issue here, because A, they're mineral-only units, and when you're playing mech, you kind of want gas more, and B, like, Zerg's drone count is not great either, so actually, that's a really cool move by Hugin to have all those sieged in there. And look at this harass. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Zerg just cannot deal with this. Like, this is really brutal.
Yeah, and it's just a shame. That's like there's so many opportunities that I think you could have gotten something done. It's just it comes down to just the lack of synergy with everything here. That like the pieces aren't just fitting well together, and it's not like the raw upgrades or the raw drone count. Like you have 6 bases where you can just overpower. Like the way he's playing, like if he had all like 9 factories on like 6 bases, you could just throw crap at your opponent, but not in the game we're playing right now, unfortunately.
Well, by all means, it's been worth it for him to harass the Vultures like he has. I mean, again, I really wish he'd move his army to actually defend this CC, though. I mean, these tanks on the inside will probably kill these Ultralists eventually, but a lot of SCVs are going to fall, if not the CC itself. That's a lot of Ultralists. Oh gosh, these mines could do insane damage. Oh gosh. They both see each other, right? Oh my gosh. Alright, here we go. Okay, the mines really didn't do that much, actually. Once again, these tanks on the inside are going to murder SCVs and Ultralists alike. Oh, those mines still are. And you know what, he's getting on top of the tanks, but if one mine... Oh, okay, no, this is a disaster for Zerg. Absolute disaster. And that's really, like, most of his remaining gas. GG. Well, that was a cool mech game we saw from Terran.
Yeah, no, I like seeing the dedicated mech. I like seeing the attempt at it. I think Vessels would have made that so much more good. Like being able to erase or harass just to force your opponent to keep making some kind of anti-air if they need it, or just irradiating the ultras, let force action to happen. I think there's a lot of things that just that one unit really would have made that game pop a lot more.
Absolutely. And look, honestly, if Terran just positioned his units where they needed to be, the game probably also would have ended sooner. Interesting strategy we saw from Zerg. Just come with a lot of Zerglings and stuff and see what happens.
Yeah, you know that strategy feels like you play that as Terran like once or twice. You'd be like, I just died of legs and ultras. That's my strategy. Screw it. I'm gonna make my ultras.
All right, here we go in the top. Nope, bottom right. We have Packrat, definitely gonna ace this group. I'm calling it now. And the bottom left in the teal, we have Arcadewinds. I don't know, man. Does anyone in this group have a chance against Packrat? He's looking so solid, but we haven't seen his PvZ yet. Anything could happen here.
Yeah, that is true. Now, just going off what we know about these players, Arcadewinds, you know, lower end on the way up, it does seem like it might be a little bit difficult, but, you know, it's still Protoss. Anything can happen very easily here. And just because we didn't really give it that kind of intro, as far as Group 19 goes, this is going to be the last game from Group 19 we're doing. And we're switching over to Group 29, kicking into high gear for the latter half of the session.
Alright, great. Now, so I would say Packrat is also like kind of on his way up because I think he was in Tier 2 last season. I don't recall if he was in Tier 3 before that or if he's always been Tier 2. But like his performance in this group has been quite good, and I don't know if it's quite good enough for Tier 1. Obviously, that's not even up to us to determine. But I don't know. He's looking strong. That's all I can say. There's Probe heading up north. Overlord is going to scout Protoss first. Will we see Gateway? At this level, I don't think it's super likely. Forge is still remain pretty popular, and honestly, it seems like a lot of pros have swung back towards Forge opening surprisingly now. That is an overpool we see. Not doing anything crazy here. It's kind of a shame because I feel like in these lower levels, you can try and take advantage of either rushing with Lings or getting a fast hatchery a lot more maybe than when we get up to higher tiers, and Protoss are really aware of like all the exact responses they need to do. Yeah, looks like we are going to see... Ooh. Okay. Well, say you're a Protoss player. Do you have anything to say about this?
I got things to say about this, and I always have to, you know, great assaulted that I am awful at walling, and this is not the matchup I claim that is like my shining star when I play for us, but this wall is scaring the crap out of me right now at this point. Now you're getting the late scout, it is a forged commitment, but this is not the way you're used to doing it. This is going to be so hard to plug if there's any real Ling aggression, and if Packrat scouts this and sees what's going on, I think he's a smart player to know, oh, I can destroy this.
I like that expansion block, but there is 6 Lings on the way, and the cannon is not being built, the probe's not in position. Well, this game could be very short indeed. Oh, look at that, he has 2 scouting probes, I didn't even realize. So, no Zerg expansion go down, except at the middle. Well, Caster Curse strikes again.
Now we got the 1 can here. You can see things are being a little bit delayed here. He is going to have to, like, do something, block the ramp, pull some probes, do something like that. It's 6 Lings if they want to commit to being aggressive. 1 can is not going to be enough to stop them. We do see that gateway going down here, and you can see that is a very large gap in the middle of the wall like this.
Oh boy, okay. Now, I was just wondering, if 6 Lings attack a cannon with nothing to get in their way, how many Lings do you have left over? Is it just 2 or 3, or like the cannon's finished, say?
You probably have 3 or 4 left over.
Because I know if you run past a cannon up the ramp, you lose 2 Lings, but obviously that's a decent block now. That's probably just enough to hold him. Packrat playing conservatively here, and I don't mind that at all. Actually, he's got his expansions up, and you know, maybe he's just feeling confident seeing that wall. You just wonder what your opponent's bringing the late game to. The second cannon actually goes up, which I think is over defense from Arcane. I mean, you could say, yeah, his wall is weak, so maybe he needs it, but on the other hand, like, he really is not seeing anything from Zerg, which suggests any aggression here. That said, Zerg does not have a gas yet, which I think is a bit of a mistake here.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how you want to be playing. If Packrat wants to just get that big drone count, get that big economy, get ready for, you know, the mid game with a really healthy economy, I think that seems pretty reasonable to just kind of focus. You don't need the gas right now. Your opponent's build, you've seen the Fortress Manage. You're not terribly worried about any kind of pressure right away, especially since I think he poked it on C is what he's expecting.
Yeah, it looks like you're correct, because he's going to throw another hatch down here. I assume he's going to go straight into Hydralisk with this before Lair. It's very interesting. I haven't really seen this kind of thing very often, but I think I have seen it before. I'm trying to remember if it was from Packrat himself or... Oh gosh, the games all blend together. There's been a lot. But definitely in CPL 7 I saw this a couple of times.
Yeah, no, this is something I've seen, and not even just in CPL. I've definitely seen this watching streams, and it's if your opponent doesn't know how to punish it, and especially it's like, all right, well, you go to Lair, it's like, oh, I need Scourge. Well, if your opponent isn't really just punishing you with the Corsairs, you could just get that big economy faster. And especially looking at this wall, this is the biggest problem when I see with this wall. Like, the way it's set up, you're not going to make a lot of cannons that are great against Hydra pressure, and the pylon's so easy to pick off.
Does the Zealot get trapped now? No, I guess it can go between the cannon and the gateway. Okay.
Yeah, you can go up. It's good.
Yeah, that's bad. Are Templars bigger than Zealots? I know DTs are, but are high Templars?
I don't think so. You're asking me all these questions on the fly. Why are you doing this to me?
Saetzero, the first cast back in CPL 8. Answer me all the questions about StarCraft ever. Now, we see a Citadel coming up, and I don't know if that really works that well. I think a Stargate opening is better here, because like you're saying, like, it's kind of the concern you don't have a Spire, and maybe you can be a bit more annoying at that. Probe gets in. Arcane is getting good scouting, if nothing else, but I think he's actually been missing a few probes. Look at his Nexus now, and in fact his probe count is not great, and this is really going to hurt him going forward. Honestly, that's one of the fundamental things you have to get right if you're going to win in StarCraft. You've got to keep making those workers non-stop from where your base is. Now, this probe is still on the move. You see no Lair at this time from Zerg. You must be thinking something's up, like Hydras are coming hard or something.
Well, this is so you mentioned that you don't really think the Citadel is the right choice. I think it's fine. And like, because he has that probe still moving around, still doesn't see a Lair, you're not going to get punished for not being able to hit the air. Like, you don't need any kind of anti-air. You can go straight towards Templar.
I guess if you get a DT as well, there's no way Zerg's ever going to attack, because they don't have overload speed for a long time now. Look at these Zealots coming in here. They did actually get a couple drones already. Oh, he gets another one. This is a great little harass there from Arcane Winds. I don't even know how those Zealots work their way around the map, but that was a really good move. I like that a lot.
Yeah, nice little move out. And you get the check up of what your opponent's building. Does see the Hydra density, a bunch more hatcheries, so should have a deal what's going on now. The Citadel is going just for the Zealot legs. I think when you see the lack of the Lair, you see the Hydra den, you see a lot of hatcheries, you need to start working towards that as high Templar. You need to start working towards Storm. Otherwise, when that attack does eventually hit, you're going to be in trouble. And every little bit you delay building up the energy on those high Templar could cost you dearly.
Absolutely. I still would have said if he rushed for a DT, he definitely could have got something done. Even though he can't chase the Overlords away, he really would just be able to run around and avoid them pretty easily. Because Overlord speed is still going to be like minutes away here. Now, it looks like Zerg is preparing for the counterattack here, getting his Sunkens up, and I like the SimCity at the third a lot. The natural is so-so, but I'm sure he has more buildings to place later. So I think Zerg's looking pretty good here, actually. He's going to be able to build a lot more drones soon as he has the Hydras he needs to defend this early attack. And like Protoss, I said, cut a bit. Honestly, his tech is doing okay. I don't know. Hard to call it at this point.
It's one thing that is, you watch the replay, ArcadeWinds going to kick himself. He only has 2 guys mining gas at the natural, which is tragic.
I
don't want that happening.
When I put Protoss, it's like every time for me.
Yeah, you can see how much is slowing things down. He's got 2 Templar away, hasn't even started Storm yet. He just cannot afford it. Like, it's such a big thing. You cannot be missing the timing on these gas stuff if you're trying this stuff. We do see Hydras being built on the way now. The lair is done, and it's just getting for the Overlord speed. You see the production is going to be able to really kick in and be a big problem. I think whenever Packrat feels comfortable enough and wants to start putting pressure on, you can easily just move out, but the Zealots are going to try to bring the Thunder first. There's some static defense. I don't think you want to attack into this, and the Sim City at the third looks pretty strong as well. I don't know if these Zealots are going to get that much done.
Well, it's a nice little move, baiting those two lings at least. So this is fine, at least getting out there. You know with speed, like, Zerg can't catch you, so you might as well just run and have a look. And I like that he's not committing here. A lot of the time we see Protoss come out with this first speed move out, and they're like, oh, I have to attack. And then they lose all the Zealots, even if they kill a couple of drones, and then they're in a really bad position. Now, look at this. He's just poking, just having a look, and I really like how he's kind of controlling this so far. Just hanging around, being menacing, and he has forced Zerg to make these Sunkens, but the fact these speeds exist, so it looks good for Protoss right now.
Well, I think he's just waiting for the +1 attack, and there it goes, about to finish. Doesn't get slightly too early, but yeah, there's a lot of Hydras here. Reinforcements show up. Does walk away, doesn't force himself to stay in the fight. Good move to pull out there. You kind of resets some of the lings at least, and gets a little bit of value here, but end of the day, this probe count's still not super healthy.
Yeah. Building
up a couple of Templars worth of energy, but Storm's about to finish. Not a lot of gateways. Starting to add stuff now. Just cancel 2 pylons, I guess.
Wait, what?
Yeah, just a little bit of disorganization, unfortunately. It's getting the Robo at least at a good time. I think we see all these Hydras. If your opponent has a lair, you do have to be concerned. Lurkers could be an option. Maybe the Zealot flank going to cause some reinforcements. This could be decent.
Nice move, yeah. Having them just on the map is an asset, but he needs to be careful he doesn't get baited into this area because there's a lot of defenses here, and I feel like he should know this. Okay, he's turning around. No, don't fight those. Well, actually, maybe. No, probably not. I don't know. I think these Zealots going to get cleaned up here, but I mean, maybe this is an efficient trade for us. I don't know. In the meantime, Hydra's trying to attack the front. Now, Storm is complete, yes?
Yes.
Right? Well, where is it? There it is. Yes. Nice. Waits until he baits him in. The Zealots, the Zerg Natural, actually victorious against that group of Hydras. Can't go any further. Nice Storms going down, melting a lot of Hydras here. So, honestly, Protoss having some good engagements just here, but can he really keep up with the production? Needs more Zealots out to buffer for these High Templars. Still has pretty much 1 Storm in each of them. Oh, yeah, well, just about. Oh, gosh, these reinforcements. Oh, look at that poor Hydra. Ooh, needs the Storm though. I think moving out here was a huge mistake. If he waited for a bunch more Zealots to buffer, he would have been okay. But now he's just losing all his Templars, cast in formation, using up all his energy to get nothing. And now he's forced back. Look at this bank. He could have had so many Zealots. Honestly, we have a bit of patience. I think Protoss have been in a good position, but now he's really throwing a lot of units away.
Yeah, and honestly, Packrat doesn't even have to do the big damage here right now. They can keep putting the pressure on, but Lurker aspect is about halfway done, and Drop is almost done. With the Overlord already in position.
Yeah, nice. That would be devastating. Where is that Overlord of yours? Oh, I see.
Right for the third, yeah.
Now, I mean, I don't know if the game's going to last that long, because he has a lot of Hydras here, and Protoss has precious little defense here. These Zealots not going to last forever. Cannons being morphed, but you know how bad morphing in cannons are against Hydras. I think he's just going to bust through. Oh, but he targets the Forge. Okay, he probably could have if he immediately dived on these cannons, but either way, I mean, sometimes you feel like in StarCraft, you're like, well, I don't want the game to end now. I want my cunning plan to come to fruition with this Lurker, you know? Oh, Storm? No energy. Losing that +2, though, that's a pretty big blow. Now,
not nearly as important against Hydra-based play, since now you're keeping up the arms race against the Ling, so definitely could have... It hurts, but it is not really the worst thing ever.
Where are the Storms? Is there no energy on any of these bad boys?
I don't think so. It's about to happen right now. Some of them getting really close, but before they were just slightly too short here. Lurker aspect done. Nothing being morphed just yet. Yeah, nice
storms.
Try.
He's got so many Templars and so few Storms coming out. Another one. Oh, defensive, but doesn't actually defend himself. And yeah, there's just so many Hydras here. I mean, sorry Packrat, but your Lurker plan is not going to see the light of day today, I don't think. I think this game is about to end here as Zerg storms down this natural. Although Protoss stalling down his own probes a little.
Yeah, not really the look you're going for. You saw the probe to try to go off to the third, but ArcadeWinds too busy putting out the fire at home. He's not going to have any time for this. Still doing some good damage, but like I think you go forward, you got to go for some of these Templar. Don't let them just keep building up energy. There's not a lot of Storms left over. Still just trying to make Zealots at this point, so Hydra should be able to do good against that. Keep reinforcing.
Yeah, I think Packrat was like keeping half of them back because he was thinking like, well, you know, all he has is Storm, so if I just spread them out, he can't kill them all. He was correct. Again, Packrat looking really strong. He just kind of had a good opening build and he just made units. You don't need anything fancier than that.
Yeah, did you see what Packrat said in the chat? I give him credit for this cunning plan, this great, brilliant, like 40 chess plays. Like, yeah, definitely not a misclick.
Oh,
come on, bro.
That's a pity. Could have let us live in I was going to say in fear, but that's not the word. Live in hope. That's it, the opposite.
Yeah, live in hope. Could have been a great time. But still, those are fun games. So, you know, a little bit on lower end mistakes here and there, stuff that has got to be cleaned up. PACKRAT especially looking pretty strong, so we'll see what happens to them next week in the preseason. But still, I just love the CPL is back. I love watching these kind of games, and it's like, especially right now, like you got BSL to watch, you got ASL to watch, you got CPL to watch. So many good choices.
Yeah, nice. It's definitely StarCraft season. I guess it all comes at once.
Yeah, I think it all lined up just perfectly. It's like Valentine's Day just ended, and then it's like, all right, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
Leave your partner and play StarCraft. That's right. All right.
Well, no, if you did a really good job of Valentine's Day, you could just buy yourself some extra trades.
Right. Okay.
Well, we're gonna get started into our next group of play. Gonna be a little bit higher up. I'm especially excited to see some of these players play. We got some interesting stuff moving forward, so we'll see how these ones go. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm keen to get into that higher group. All right, here we have in the bottom right, in the blue, Havia, and in the top left, in the orange, it's Wolfrat. Now that's an AKA, is it not? It's actually...
Yes, that is Seraph.
Yes, that's what I thought. All right, so here we are on Polypoid still. All the matches still on Polypoid. Now we're going to have a TvZ. Now this is more like, I would say, tier 1 level. I guess we'll see what they're bringing, and we can cast our judgments later. But I'm expecting like cleaner builds, like better execution.
Yeah, now there is the small caveat that Seraph, just like YOITSFLASH, is playing Zerg this season for the first time. Yeah, so we'll see how that the Protoss into Zerg. We'll see if there's the same kind of struggles.
Well, presumably they have a better idea of the builds, because a lot of the builds YOITSFLASH is doing there are a bit questionable. But we'll see. We shall see. Now Terran, I mean, okay, as we get higher up in MMR, I would expect the Goliath build to actually become less prevalent, because it's not really in style anymore these days, right? Because if you look at the pros, they're all still going for bio openings right now. So surely the like prevalence of non-bio openings scales with like proportion of MMR, right?
I mean, you would think that, but you know, if you're gonna read into the outside meta stuff, there's a chance that just like what's popular right now in ASL, I'm not gonna do that. Like you can really spin it any way you want.
Once again, we're seeing this pool first, so maybe the thing is that these Protoss into Zerg players just play it like Zerg plays ZvPs. That's why we see these overpools, which in TvZ, like I was saying, it's not the worst. It's like against proxy, it's a good like defense, but I don't know, like when it's not proxy, it's kind of like, well, if you just went hatch first, you'd be looking a lot better. If you go gas right away with this, I mean, potentially it's a strategy to go really fast lurker or something, but again, that's not what he's doing here. He's just playing this like a PvZ.
Yeah, it just makes me think, is like, did someone do something? Someone probably did some build that like people were stealing up on. And unfortunately, I haven't seen it.
He doesn't need to do anything fancy.
We'll see what it ends up being. I do think, like you're saying, though, I'm not expecting to see the Goliath build, and I would actually like to see bio. It is fun and exciting to watch, even though it is fragile and a little tense for both sides. So we'll see how it ends up going. Especially, I think, if someone's switching into Zerg and they don't have a lot of experience playing that, getting to the late game and really either in the mid game using Mutalis very well, or being able to use Defilers, that nick of time Dark Swarm that really saves your butt. It's a little bit harder to do when you're not super used to doing it. So we'll see what ends up being the plan for Seraph here.
People in chat are saying the reason everyone's going pool first is because Hawk told people to overpool in every matchup. And you're watching YOITSFLASH play, that makes a lot of sense, because Hawk is a big proponent of just getting lots of hatcheries and making sure you get all the links you possibly can, you know, because the gas will spend what you want, then you have a mineral bank. So watching YOITSFLASH play, I don't know if it's the case, but it seems like that it's definitely like learning what Hawk has to teach. But I don't know about going overpool in TvZ, I have to say.
I mean, I think the logic when saying something like that is probably something along the side of like, well, if your Muta Micro's not that great, just don't get Mutas. Like you're not going to do enough with them, so don't do them. So it's like if you're just doing for the kind of things like you can't mess up economy, right?
When will you?
That might be
great. That's the question.
When you get to B rank, well, get there first. Don't worry about it.
Magically, you are endowed with Muta Micro when you get there. Now, I would say, other than the overpool, a lot more logical of a build here. We're going for a 2-hatch lair, so presumably Muta coming up from Seraph here, but Terran's still going for a regular bio build, getting that second barracks. Presumably gas can be thrown down in just a minute here.
Yeah, the last thing I remember when we were really watching some of the CPL stuff, the big choice I think when we saw the bio builds was just is it ended up being Academy or eBay first, and I don't know if that's a meta choice or what you're expecting from your opponent, which makes one more valuable than the other. We'll see what Javier is going to do.
Now, never mind your Mutalisks. It's Hydrogen coming up.
Yeah, like I said, if you're worried that you don't have the Muta micro to make them good, just don't go Muta.
I guess so.
Here we go with Lurker play.
2H Lurker, very dicey though. If your opponent knows how to defend it, it's very hard to actually get a win that way. Now, I don't know if that's actually, I just realized Javier has not had an SCV in his opponent's base for a long time, so he really hasn't been keeping track of the scouting. It's actually quite important in this matchup to keep an SCV in the Zerg base as long as you possibly can. Now, he's not going to have any intel whatsoever, and this Academy is only just coming up. I really would like to see some Hydras built now. There we go, so they can get across the map before they morph. Now, I assume Zerg is going to try and keep Terran in with these speedlings so that he can't get out and scout, and he can just run right in and bust that bunker. If Terran doesn't build additional bunkers for the Lurkers here, he's going to be in a lot of danger. Well, let's see.
Yeah, I think especially since with the Academy not even done yet, you get the scan, you do that first one to scout, and you see the Hydra den, you're like, oh crap.
You have only one scan left to defend. Yeah, you'd be going down here. Terran messing up a good number of Marines though. Honestly, if he moves out right away with Stim and Medics, he should be able to get some space and hold the Lurkers back long enough. That is if he knows where they are or that they exist at all. The problem here is, if Zerg kind of puts them off to the side and Terran starts pushing across the map, he could actually find that Lurkers suddenly attack and backstab, and he will not be able to do anything about that. That will definitely be game over if that's what happens.
But Stim and the medics, the medics are barely going to be out. Stim's not going to be done in time. Lurker aspect just finishing up now.
Well, the Lurkers still have to morph. The Lurkers still have to morph. There'll be time. Well, okay, yeah, maybe not for Stim, you're right. They're probably moving out just as the Lurkers want to attack. And he is none the wiser, is he? Do any scans go down? I'm just waiting for that.
I have not seen it yet. There's the first one.
He scans the Hydra Den. That should be all he needs to see. I want to see him move out immediately and start putting bunkers. There we go. He starts moving the bio forward. Do we see more bunkers? Because that's the critical thing here. He unloads. What's he waiting for? These Lurkers finish. He's missing his window to add more bunkers, and also a turret probably be helpful too. Needs to get Marine range right away. Uh-oh, these Marines are very clumped up as Lurkers come in, but they do have a lot of firepower. They don't focus fire the Lurkers though. They pull back. Okay, this is looking pretty dicey for Terran because he gave up that wide open area. Now he's really choked in here. Marine range has not even started. These Lurkers can actually siege the bunker even if that's detection. There goes the scan, but like I was saying, bunker only has range on one of these Lurkers. Well, Terran can theoretically hold this force with repair, but is it going to be just the force? Oh, detection actually runs out. Or this bunker might actually fall. Well, he has no more scans, so it's kind of a moot point actually whether it falls or not. Because the SCV is just getting taken out with this Lurker slowly but surely. Yeah,
this is so much damage, and reinforcements just keep going across here. You can even see that it's like back at home, not really investing, really focusing. It's like just reinforced army. We're going for the kill now. I got my window. Has the scans available, but Javier is not going to have enough time. Yeah.
Nice little kill there from Seraph. Look, we've seen it plenty of times before in CPL Preseason in particular. Church Lurker, if you've got a Terran to get through, that seems to be what people do.
Oh no, Javier just showed up in the chat to watch that game. Oh no.
Oh, I'm sorry, Javier. Oh gosh. Yeah, well, Javier, if you're here, I would say if you tried to focus down the Lurkers during that fight instead of running back, it may have been possible to hold. It would be very tough at any rate, not securing that bunker quickly, like the extra bunker.
But you know what? Still, I think that was both players really looking what they're doing. So we're talking small amount of timing that I think was a problem for Javier to kind of throw it off. So we already see it a lot more crispness in the plays here. The build's making a lot more sense. So we're very excited to watch the rest of this group.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, it's not like there was any key build order mistake. Hang on, more on that in a minute. In the bottom right, in the orange, we have Too Sexy For You. And the bottom left, back to Redeemer's Honor in the grey, we have Javier. See, I was saying, it wasn't like there was any build order mistake or anything. Javier was macroing fine. It was just that he was in the dark and his opponent was being aggressive and, just hit him at a time where he wasn't prepared. Nah, we same level. I guess Too Sexy For You, you're saying this is going to be an even game. Ooh, they've been absent.
Now I know we've casted 2 Sexy For You before, and
yeah.
they were quite a strong player. Yeah. So I'm not buying any of this.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens. But look, APM is everything, as you know. Every StarCraft player knows you have higher APM, you're guaranteed to win, and Javier has like more than twice the APM. So
Yeah, see, you say that as joking. I know you're joking, but one person,
They're
gonna be like,
well, CPL said that higher APM means you win, so.
yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what it is. The Terran player told me. He's so smart. Big brain. He picked the right.
Alright, well. A TvP now, yes, and this is the first, like, higher-ish tier TvT we're going to see. Now, let's take this opportunity, Saetzero. Tomorrow we have another match of the week, do we not?
Oh, yes. We're going to be doing some more games. Groups to be determined.
Well, that's what I was going to ask about. Do people expect to see some higher tier action or like lower tier action or what? Any plans in that regard, or it's a mystery?
I think it is going to be, again, a little bit of a variety night. How to, like, we have something probably a little more on the extreme ends. Maybe grab something from the real high up and something from the new blood trying out CPL for the first time. So I think you still going to see a little variety hour. I think it's the way to go for preseason, just because it gives you a lot of interesting games to watch. It's like you see really optimal stuff, people really trying to hurt, and you're just going to see those kind of fights where it's like it's a world star hip hop. They're fighting in the street. You don't know what's going on, but it's a great time.
And don't forget, this Friday at 7 PM Eastern, we have a masterclass from the excellent Zerg Flow, so don't miss that. And like I said before, there will be announcements when it happens.
You're in the Discord. If you got those channels not muted, you're going to get all the info you ever need. Don't worry about that.
I pity those poor souls if those channels are muted. They must miss a lot.
I don't know why you would ever do that. Although I'll be honest, I'm in a lot of Discords where I mute everything because I collect Discords. This is in the folder of Discords I actually use.
There you go. There you go. That's right. The CPL is definitely one that you keep first and foremost. All right. So pretty normal opening so far. Not going to see any kind of two-fact shenanigans here or anything like that. The workers cross paths, but of course another player really has a guarantee where their opponent was. Although Protoss actually scouted the other position already. Interesting pattern that the worker scouting makes on the map. You see what I mean? Like, it looks kind of like a deformed Mickey Mouse or something.
Yeah, it's a little interesting. I don't know why it does that little dip down in the middle like that.
Yeah, is that really the best way to go? Like, it's so confusing.
Does any unit in this game with its pathing go the best way it can go in any situation? They can't even mine from like gas geyser half the time.
A units that are not Scourge do that. Scourge, forget about it.
You have never seen Dragoons move. You say that
I said A units. I said A units.
Oh, air units. Okay.
Yeah. And Dragoons air units, please don't say that's true.
Maybe in StarCraft 3 if they ever make it.
That's right. They got wings, and then they just immediately spin around and crash into the ground because they're so uncoordinated.
Hey, they're dead zealot spirits in a body. Why not give them wings?
Okay, if you put a dead zealot spirit in like an airplane, he's gonna go kamikaze right away. That's just how zealots are. Look at this probe here. So, another Vulture first opening, I guess that's popular recently, and I gotta say, I do like it, honestly. That's what I do most of the time myself. And look at that, he's actually gonna sneak it out here. Protoss on the wiser, despite this sneaky probe checking out the expansion, he's not seeing the Vulture, but why is the Vulture just sitting at home? If you're gonna go Vulture first, you really want to get it out there. That's the whole point of doing that.
Yeah, I also don't like how much money is being built up. Like, the CC's definitely late, didn't clear out to make sure this isn't being scouted, so that sneaky probe is going to know exactly the timing and feel super safe. It's like, your Nexus is a little more ahead than you're used to. You blocked the scout. Ooh. Or you didn't. Oh. Damn it. Oh, that hurts.
Well, there's a robo in here and he finds it. Oh, that's actually huge. I mean, it happens, right? The figure's out of position and you know that SCV will not die too easily. Now, yeah, I'm really questioning what Havy's doing with this Vulture here, because honestly, if both goons came, the Vulture would not have saved him. He would have been able to bust this and probably, like, cancel that CC or something. You know, either way, a lot of damage goes down. This probe's still existing. Of course, is this probe an absolute hero? Like, 15 minutes later in the game, will he build a cannon here? I want it to happen.
I know you do, and I told you there was a game or two that we cast that's like, hey, we got the cannon rush, you just weren't around for it. It's not going to happen here, though. You're asking for far too much.
Look, if you play StarCraft 2 vs me and I get Protoss, guaranteed at some point I was build a cannon in a mineral line somewhere.
Oh, I'll do it to you if I play you myself.
PvP, let's go. PvP, let's go. Alright, these goons coming across. Looking like they're going to do something here. Now, the Vulture did leave, finally, just before these goons arrived, and this bunker will be fine with this tank here. There will be no way Protoss is going to bust through that. Just 2 goons. In fact, it's kind of dicey for these Dragoons. Heavy not being aggressive with the tank, but honestly, I think he should try and pick off one of these goons, because 2 is not going to get you with that bunker here with 3 Marines in it. But here we go, he's going to start taking some shots. Yeah, and just going to back off. Hey, just forcing a little bit of the repair, I think that's fine. If you don't lose the goons, if you're not being careless, there's nothing wrong with seeing that kind of play at all. Right, but the fact that he was able to do so much damage, I put solely on the fact, all that probe, unfortunate, solely on the fact that the Terran didn't, like, you know, put the Japanese mark in the tank right away. He could have just been doing a lot of damage to those goons, and they would have been forced to pull back a lot sooner. Are we having some lag here, Saetzero?
You are having some lag, unfortunately. Yeah.
Oh.
It is kind of dicing up a little bit. I'm going to pause it just for a second, see if things resolve.
People in chat, please inform us how's the stream looking. I'm looking at it myself. Well, as far as
alright, so that's where I paused.
The stream didn't lag any worse than the game did itself, so I think we're good. So yeah, continue.
Yeah, I think we're good. Little tiny hiccup. Again, new season, it's CPL. We have to jinx things by making bold claims 4 seconds earlier. We have to have a little bit of lag and a little bit of the robot in the blind. We miss him, we love him.
Alright, 260 if he was going Arbiter this game there, I've cursed it. Let me just set that and see.
Hey, what? No.
Why not?
No, I meant the Arbiter thing. Don't curse the Arbiter
He's going to throw down a Stargate now, isn't he? Well, we do have a Goliath coming up already. Oh, this is the old school, like, upgrade build where you get a bunch of Goliaths in range in case of drop right away. But the thing is, usually you're going for a third gas with that, so I don't know what he's going to do with a mineral only. Vulture Speed's coming up here. It's a nice mine at 6 o'clock. You wouldn't expect Protoss to take it, but it's actually very good to have a mine there in case A, Protoss is trying to be super sneaky and take that, or B, they actually fly a Reaver or something past there. Now, the mineral only does come down as expected. An observer flies over that mine. I doubt Protoss will keep note of the fact that's there, but he's going to come in and have a scout on the Terran base.
Yeah, and this is all you really need as observer for. Gotta get the info. What is your opponent? 1 armory, 2 armories. Is there a science facility? How many factories? Like, you just gotta see what they're building so you have an idea of what's going on for you. And to say for you, they could say they're rusty all they want. They still know what they're looking for. They still have an idea of what they're trying to do in this matchup.
Well, I will say, 260 Fuse probe count is very low right now. For a person who's going for 3 bases, and he's not building more, so maybe he's right. He's rusty on that count anyway. Citadel coming up at a pretty normal timing though for a 3-base Arbiter build. I'm just really worried he's going to fall super behind here if he doesn't get his worker production back into gear. He just starts a couple more, but Terran honestly with a significant lead right now just from that alone, even though nothing else has really happened in this game. And honestly, having that first Vulture out with those mines is actually pretty nice.
Yeah, definitely a little bit weird, especially since that CC was a little bit delayed as well, so... I do like Javier is being very cautious, very careful of things. You can see moving that barracks in position, get that extra vision just in case. So a little more warning time for any kind of potential harass. So I think just overall, Javier playing a nice solid play. We'll see what the game ends up being. Like when they're planning to get a push, is there a plan to get that 3rd base, or are they really trying to be defensive? It is unclear yet. So we'll see what it ends up being.
From what he's doing so far, I would say Javier is definitely going to try and wait for at least +2 here. He's not going to go for any fast pushes. And look, with how behind Protoss got himself in workers, I don't feel like he really needs to be taking a 3rd super fast. He's really just doing well, just sitting back right now, although missing some of his own workers now as Protoss starts to kick in with 3 Nexus production. Arbiter is coming up pretty fast here. Pro production aside, 60 Fuse build is pretty solid here. He's going to have a very sharp Arbiter timing here.
Yeah, we're gonna see what he can get done. We saw earlier tonight, stasis. Like everyone thinks recall, but the cloak and the stasis are monstrously powerful as well. So
absolutely, look, I would say stasis is just the better spell, straight up. Not that recall is bad by any means, but stasis is actually extremely good. Even surprisingly, as the armies get smaller, stasis gets better and better. So it looks good when you're fighting max army versus max army, but if the armies get smaller, it actually just gets even stronger. Now, Terran with an excellent scan there does see its Arbiter right away. And so far doing everything by the book, looking to get +2 here. He's going to power up a bit more and take a 3rd base, but on modern maps that tends to be what you do. And I think given Protoss rate of expansion, it's absolutely fine here.
Yeah, I like the decision the moment that info is gained. It was immediately throwing down that starport. And so you're going to be able to get those science vessels if you want them, keep the upgrades going as well. If you just know what to deal with, like, you just make sure you don't get yourself in a bad spot.
Yeah, the Tribunal was a bit delayed here. Look, and as much as I criticize Protoss, I can't not criticize Terran now. They've been missing a few works actually as well, so that's really closed the gap. Even despite the fact Protoss have not been producing pros off 3 Nexus very much. So now worker count looking a bit more even, but Terran's army is still formidable compared to the Protoss one.
Yeah, the fact that the splash right now are even, given how low the Terran production was for quite a long time, it was just 2 factories worth, that is a little bit concerning here. And I think you got to add on these more gateways, really kind of work towards getting that accelerated. But Arbiter Tribunal is about to finish. You can work towards that. Stasis can make the miracle happen. but still, there's no map presence at all. So if Havier wants to go and start mining things up, getting that real big vision, but they're just being cautious, taking that third base, and they're not under any threat while they do so.
This gateway in the middle can only make zealots, right? Like, look at this.
Gateway in the middle? No.
Yeah, but the pylon's on its right. Surely goons can't fit there because it's totally full.
No, they're fine.
Really? How? Like, where would they appear? Anyway, don't worry about, I guess, the gateways too much. Now, I'm moving around with these vultures yet. Vultures speed... Wait, oh, it is done. I was just looking at them funny. I'm like, wait, why are they going so slow? Sometimes I look at Zerglings and I'm like, wait, are they slow? But they're not. Okay, but Preseason.
I know that one way too well, where it's like, I know they're fast. Are they that fast? Or, like, you have to really think about it for a bit.
Yeah, for sure. Even Zealots sometimes, I look, I'm like, oh, he's walking so slow. Wait a minute, no, he's faster. Now, you know, this third mineral only, not that Terran's really done it yet, but it's kind of weak to Vulture Harass, even with his cannons here, because it's just wide open. And honestly, it's very hard to stop that at that base in particular, which is honestly one of the reasons why I think this map's quite good for Terran. But so far, Terran just keeping his forces intact, which might be the better move. We saw a lot of Vultures being traded away last game, and it did not work out for Terran last game, I mean last TvP.
Yeah, but there was also, you know, the expansions, the amount of gateway was completely out of control. The Suicide for you being a lot more standard, not really trying to steal things out and get this like ridiculous advantage behavior. While they're still being pretty packed up in defensive, the positioning is way better. They got some vision on the map as well, so I'll say I think they're in a good spot. Like I'm not worried about this base as much as I was in previous games.
Look at this recall defense as well. There's a very meager amount of mines with a lot of turrets, you know, and I'm not a fan because I feel like if Protoss really wants to get past the turrets, they will, and you cannot build enough turrets to stop the recall. It does make it harder though, but I really feel like it'd be better if you had more mines everywhere. That said, I don't think Protoss is really gearing up for a recall here. In fact, his supply is quite low for this point in the game, I would say.
Yeah, I think you're just making sure stuff's in a good position. You got stasis now just finished up. You gotta wait for the energy to get there, but I think you just be able to stop the push, kind of get that fourth base up and running online, and you know, move into more gateways, maybe an attempt to take a fifth base, something like that. Because that was the big thing we saw that in the last game we watched. That Pro stayed on 4 base for far too long. Yes. So hopefully that's not going to be the problem we're having here for the 2 seconds for you.
Well, I mean, we don't see any probes heading out just yet, and Terran's in good position to deny every possible base, so I mean, he even checks this 12 o'clock for a hidden base, which I think is a good move at this time in the game. So I don't know, I'm getting kind of worried about it, because the time has come and gone for a fifth base as far as I'm concerned, knowing that Terran is on this third quite comfortably. Second Stargate coming up here. Still only 8 gates here, which really is not going to be enough on 4 bases. I don't know. Terran, I feel like playing, you know, a lot more kind of very conservatively, but very solidly so far. Although he is banking a lot of money right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's realistically, I just think 2 sides for you. The gameplay they're doing is very stable. If they're just going to wait for the recall, I don't really mind it so much. You see now moving out, trying to get a little bit of vision.
If you just go for a recall right off the bat when nothing is happening, I think it generally doesn't work out for the Protoss. You need to recall when either A, you know your opponent isn't prepared for some reason, or B, like there's a lot of stuff going on and Terran is disorganized and everywhere. If Terran is just sitting back here not doing anything and you go for a recall, I think Terran tends to be more prepared, they'll be able to clean it up and it won't end up being efficient for Protoss. So I don't think that's really the move here. I think you wait for Terran to start moving out, you like maybe have a fight or two or something, before you just go in with that, especially with how much preparation Terran seems to be putting, except with mines. I still really wish he had more mines in here. But he has 2 tanks sitting back here for a recall, so he is ready. Where are the vessels, though? Are they ready?
Yeah, I was hoping to see them. I don't think they exist. Like, he got the science facility, but I guess it was just for the upgrades. We're hearing some scans go down. He's just trying to find out where's that Protoss army. He wants to see if there's any kind of attempt here. Observer pokes forward, sees how many turrets there are, so you know not there.
And look at that, he wants to try it, but I don't think he can do this.
No. Don't go for the 30, that's worse. That's worse.
I think Terran might spot it. No, maybe not. Okay, he's going to get in here. So this is what I was saying. Like, oh, actually, no, that's not going to make it. No, barely does not. If he had, like, come in there first at full HP, or say had an observer to tank, that probably would have been enough. But alas, he wastes that Arbiter.
And look at that reaction. Even though it died to the turtle line, Javier still pulled back the vultures right away. He's on top of it, making sure that's not
what do you expect would have happened if he got in? Because there's a bunch of mines exactly where he had to recall, let alone if he recalls over buildings and doesn't even work. There's 2 tanks that would fire immediately, so that's like almost another mine hitting everything. And like you say, the vultures would be coming right back in. All these pros are stuck in this narrow location. I really just don't think it would have been worth the pros. And this is what I'm saying about recalls right off the bat. As long as your Terran opponent is aware and like does some preparation, it's hard to see how it's going to be worth. And look at that, he's putting more mines in that spot. So like, alright, he's probably going to try that again.
Yeah, it could be difficult. I think if you're at least postured on the map, like you're threatening some kind of attack, or you throw a couple zealots at that 9 o'clock, the 4th base, so just something to go on. That makes a lot of sense.
I just realized there's absolutely nothing at the 9 o'clock, and pros could just walk in there anytime. There's not even really any mines on the path. There's just a couple of mines that will just let you know Protoss is coming, but they won't slow them down. Oh dear.
We are seeing the gateway explosion happening up at the top right as that nexus is now completed. Should start mining pretty soon. Easy transfer with the probes as well. Army in the middle of the map now, and we're in a lot of scans. What's the tracks going on?
For that. He takes that nerve zone. The vessel is out, but the MP is not complete. Now, where is the other arbiter? Okay, we've got plenty of energy for a recall, let alone stasis. It looks like Terran wants to push directly across. He is maxed right now. Upgrades up 2-2. Surprise plus 2-0. He needs to be careful though that he's all sieged up. This could be a good engagement for Terran if he siege when he attacks. Oh, but he's going in unsieged very confidently here. And I mean, Protoss kind of just letting him, just running away there. This is a narrow place for Protoss to engage, and Terran taking a very threatening position here. But the Arbiter coming in now. Is there enough energy for stasis on that one? There is. The vessel, not enough energy for an EMP yet. So these Arbiters actually have complete free reign. Ooh, that's a huge stasis. And Protoss suddenly attacking from 2 sides. Looks like he will clean this up with absolute ease.
Yeah, that stasis was so good here. Javier did try to push forward a little bit. I think a little indecision. These mines will at least help slow things down, but still there's so much army left over at this point, and the ability to just kind of keep adding on after this as well. You're going to get some real pressure on this mineral-only base. I think you're going to have to give it up as Javier. I don't know how you actually get to save this.
Yeah, I doubt it too. I mean, the stasis will end sooner or later. If there's only goons left, probably does some more damage. It looks like Terran barely is probably going to be able to hold this, but he's lost so much army here. There's no way, there's no universe which is good for Terran. The only real good thing Terran has is his 4th base up, and it's not mining very much. And as soon as Protoss realizes it's there, he's from the football team of Zealots, and there's nothing to stop them. And look at that, unstasis, not too inefficient for Terran. He gets a few goons, but unfortunately does not scan, so... Well, he got 3 goons anyway. But I think as soon as Protoss remaxes, he will smash this mineral only. But yeah, I think Terran there just got in this location where he could be attacked from both sides, and it did not stop the stasis either. He was all clumped up, so it did not work out for him.
Yeah, you can see now with everything getting traded off, a lot of tanks going down after that fight. The lack of gas on Javier is really causing a problem. Finally taking the refinery at that 9 o'clock base, but taking the mineral base and just not having that much to work with here. It's going to be hard to replenish that tank count. Trying to just make sure they could fortify that mineral base and just hold on to it, but... Yeah, see, this could be your opportunity. This could be the opportunity to go for the recall at the 9 o'clock or get your opponent out of position.
I mean, there's a lot of turrets, but if he sneaks in there, there's absolutely no units. But that's the thing, does he need a recall? Just do a manual recall by walking units there, which, you know, would definitely be enough. Now, he's sending observers around, but I still don't think he's even aware of that base. Terran has a pretty strong defense at the middle only right now, as long as he leaves fewer lines. And the thing is, he didn't lose the vessel, and he's been producing them consistently, so he will probably be able to counter the Arbiters in the future. Even in producing another vessel now, I'm not even sure about this because he's very low on gas. It might be better spent on more tanks. Finally, he sees that 9 o'clock. Now, let's see what kind of response that prompts because, again, he could just walk over there. But, you know, you might be assuming that there's some defense and not even trying, which may ultimately be a big mistake. Now, these vultures trying to get in here, not going to do anything. But at least he keeps an eye on how many bases Protoss has. Protoss are not that many bases either, actually, so Terran's still in this as long as the 9 o'clock doesn't abruptly die.
Yeah, I think it's still in a great spot though for Too Sexy For You. Too many gateways to help all. Like he's starting to take the 12 o'clock base as well. Javier just is not going to be able to comfortably move out on the map outside of little vulture head squads, hoping for some kind of harass. But this is another maxed out Protoss army. 3 arbiters here, doing a good job trying to spread them up. The energy is a bit low on them. I would love to see that arbiter energy upgrade. That's like the biggest thing missing right now. But other than that,
all right, we see the EMP. These vessels need the EMP like right now. Uh-oh, the stasis is going to go down. I don't think they can stop this. Oh, stasis 2 vessels with 1 arbiter. That's probably worth it. But Terran's tank line goes back pretty far here. I don't know if this engagement is actually good for Protoss. In fact, a lot of Protoss units not taking part here. And actually, even with that excellent stasis, I don't know if Protoss are going to get good value out of this. Everything's just kind of getting melted bit by bit. Oh, that's a good stasis, though. And now I think Protoss will be able to smash forward. A D-Matrix wouldn't go miss, but I don't think there's energy there. That misses on the energy.
Yeah, that was just so dicey though, with half the army not being involved and the Zealots trailing the goons, but still just so much force going through, showing how good Stasis is as a spell.
Absolutely.
It does be able to break through this. He still has that big supply, at least still has tons of production to keep replenishing this. And Avior again back to square one, lost all those tech units, low on gas, gonna have to figure out some way to replenish everything.
Yeah, I mean, all these vessels got made, but okay, that's the first EMP of the game. No D-Matrix or anything helping out as well. So honestly, I can't help but wonder if all that gas was in tanks, would he have done better than these vessels to actually achieve anything? Now, Terran again will survive. Oh, that Arbiter gonna die to Marines in a bunker. But, I mean, do you call this living? When he doesn't have this middle only anymore. He lost a whole bunch of SCVs, a lot of tanks again. One Arbiter does escape the deadly bunker. Looks like Protoss trying to expand to the top left at the same time as the Terran. Again, Protoss just needs to kind of send, like, I don't know, 3 Zealots around these bases, and the game would end. Oh, look at this. The football team heading for the 9 o'clock now, or they're heading in the natural? Oh, which way is he going? Okay, he's going in the 9 o'clock. A bunch of vultures there. You know, somehow Terran actually has forces here at this exact moment. But it's hardly enough, honestly. Tank's not too good against Zealots, but it does push him back. +3 complete? Yes, +3 is complete.
I do like the continuity, though. You call him the football team. It was exactly 11 Zealots.
Was it? Plus the coach,
yeah,
right? The Garoon.
Yes. Absolutely.
Notice how he's bigger than the active players. Okay, here comes a serious force, and these tanks are unsieged and clumped. Oh god, this is like a Terran nightmare. This is like you wake up in a cold sweat after seeing this. But luckily there is no stasis. But there's so many Zealot Dragoon, I don't think it really matters here. He's just going to stream in now. This is a great concave for the Terran. I think he actually might have enough to hold here, I don't know. It's looking a bit dicey. These tanks on the high ground do their work.
I just like that he's committing. He moved downward. He's not trying to split and attack both very seriously, getting out of the tank range, making that defense a lot weaker. It still takes out a whole bunch of units again, resets that unit count. And every time he's getting out of these fights, he's slightly slightly more ahead on this like unit count. Even making some gateways and stuff up at the top left, which
nice.
That whole situation is just funny. Just looking at that.
That's a nice D-Matrix, and I love it when the Marines in the bunker get to be heroes like 20 minutes in the game and do their part, but they did die this time. Now, yes, Protoss is repulsed again, but Terran's supply dwindling lower and lower, and I'm just waiting for like a DT to come out of these gates in the top left or something and force that CC to go away. And yeah, finally Protoss getting up on the bases he needs, and Terran really not with much going on right now. 34 ACVs remaining, most of which are 90 at the 9 o'clock. This top left not doing anything yet. A lot of tanks out right now, but Protoss is going to be maxed again in just a moment, and then I think they'll be able to crush this. Well, where is Protoss' army? Is it all in the Gateways building?
There's some over by the mineral third as well.
I see. Well, that's not really a maxed army yet. It's just popping out of the Gateways now.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. 3 Zealots pop out in the top left.
Yeah, no, he's got plenty of army. He's back up to max now. Even though it's not all together, it will be very quickly. Protoss army's quite mobile, not going to have any trouble with that. And the fact that there's no vultures, no mines, it's just the raw power. You could feel this is that kind of desperation push. It's like, well, we'll see if it works, but I'm ready to type 2 letters.
Oh no, with the cloak as well. Where's the vessel? Everything's plumped up, not siege. Okay, there's a scan, but that just shows Terran how screwed they are. It doesn't actually help you. Siege is now, but I mean, the Zealots are already almost on top. Oh god, that first volley just devastated his own army. The EMP hits a lot of Zealots, but not the Arbiter itself. Honestly, he doesn't even want to cast Stasis skills kill all this. GG.
Yeah, honestly, not a bad game from either side. I think, besides for you, most of the engagements are pretty good. That recall attempt was a bit tragic, but other than that, like, just both sides playing pretty solidly. Just 2 seconds for you, I think. Better economy, more production. It eventually all caught up to things when Terran just did have a third gas for too long.
Guys, I don't know if the stream can continue because there's been a miscarriage of justice here. I minimized to look at chat and I tried to claim my channel points, but it said error claiming points. I've been robbed. I demand 1,000 free channel points.
1,000 channel points? You get 50, man. You click the button, you get 50.
Yeah,
what do you mean 1,000?
But the emotional damage I've suffered as a result of this. I want more.
How about instead I give you more games to cast? Is that like acceptable?
Alright, I'll take it.
I offer you this trade.
Alright, fine. This is out of court settlements.
And besides, it's your favorite. It's another ZvZ. It's gonna be super fun.
I do like ZvZ. It's pretty high.
Me too.
As long as no one makes Hydras. Alright, in the top right, in the orange, we have Seraph going as Wolf Rat this time. And the top left in the pale green, we have Vermin. First time we've seen him today. Now, I don't know if we mentioned Seraph. Seraph definitely been in a few CPLs, and I believe Vermin at least was in CPL 6 and 7. I don't know if they go back further than that. But here we go, another ZvZ with those sick Zerg psychedelic rock in the background. Awesome.
And you're really trying to defend that Zerg music. Like, it's not bad. It's not a bad soundtrack. It's just all the StarCraft soundtracks, they're all good, but like it's not like Terran is just this amazing song that people lose their minds about. And it's not like Pros or Zerg music is like awful. They're all good.
Make a video about this, to be honest.
I can already see that just infiltrating the algorithms, like top 5 reasons you don't know anything about music. An exposition.
Yeah, I don't make that kind of video. You'll never believe what happened in this TvP game. It shows just like, you know, a marine with like, you know, his mouth wide open. Gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, both players going for a 9 pool here, interestingly. So mirrored 9 pool. Here's the thing: if you're both going for 9 pool, surely the player who's like more aggressive is at the disadvantage because they move out further. Ooh, they're both going for the best build in the game. 9 pool gas. Ooh, spicy. I was thinking the player who moves out further with their first 6 links surely will be like closer to the opponent's rally and like lose the fight. I don't know. Maybe they'll take the initiative.
We'll see who wants to make that first move, is to try to make that attack, give up their defender's advantage. And I do like that Seraph tried the counter like scouting, where he sent the Overlord the way that will suit your opponent's Overlord, not the way that makes sense to go for the closest natural.
Yeah, I mean in ZvZ, honestly, I feel like you could just flip a coin and whether you take the advantage to scan natural first or you just try and be sneaky. I think it's either way. Because I mean it is a big deal finding out sooner or later where your opponent is now the second Overlord. Okay, I was going to say, which way is he going? But yeah, the 6 things coming up, honestly, totally mirror build so far. Will they both go for speed? Yep, this is amazing. This is actually like exactly the same.
Again, in the chat, I'm giving players credit. I gotta just stop doing that. It's 2022. I'm not making excuses for people anymore.
Oh my gosh, Sarah.
No, that is completely fine.
Vermin's leads are actually out like 1 whole second earlier. We'll see if that matters. Look at this, they're actually going to collide in the middle. Oh no, Seraph's thing's going the wrong way. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, this could actually be a huge disadvantage. Then again, he could also counterattack Seraph's main. Sorry, did I say Seraph's lings are the right way and Vermin's? Oh, these 2 links. Okay, he does pull them back. Nicely done. He's going to try and reunite with his army. I guess he figures that he has to counterattack at this point, which is probably correct. Honestly, I like the decisiveness here from Vermin. He knows exactly what he's going to do about this. And now, Seraph coming in here, going to do a lot of damage. At the same time, Vermin's link's coming up. Oh, he loses 1 link traveling across the map, though. Okay, here we go. The drone's trying to drill. I didn't see any fall yet. So far, no drones have fallen. But look at this. Vermin actually looks like he has the better attack there, because there's no links to defend the links of Vermin falling in his main. Still no drones have fallen, but now... Oh, Vermin doing huge damage, actually pulling some links back for defense, because I think he thinks he's going to do game-ending damage. In fact, both players look like they might do game-ending damage here. What is going on in this game? Do we have a base race in our hands? Oh,
I mean, there's no flying units. Your buildings can't escape this one. I think it's very simple at this point.
As you can. Okay, yeah, this is a base race for sure, but the problem is, Seraph got drones out and has more money to build extractors with, whereas Vermin has to cancel this lair if he's even going to build an extractor. It's about to finish. Oh, that's a huge mistake letting that finish. Oh, and we see Seraph does cancel his. Honestly, that might be the game-losing mistake by Vermin letting that lair finish, because he's not going to do anything for him, and that's 6 more links could have made. At the same time, though, somehow Seraph brought all his drones back, and he's still going to lose them, but it seems like he has more lings for the base race, so I don't know. I think Seraph takes his, but he pulls his lings back to defend. I don't know, that might ultimately be a big mistake here. That said, there's not that many lings left here for Vermin. Oh, I don't know, this is like a ragtag force. No, I think Seraph for sure can finish off those buildings, because there's no way that an extractor can be built. No, what's he doing? No,
it's such a weird spot, but also remember, with the lair finishing, it has a lot more health. So, you know, maybe like try to figure out, it's like, alright, we have the same buildings, but one of them has 500 more health. What do I do here? And you see the hatchery ore going down. Now, just 2 buildings to go. He's got those drones available. Where are they going? They gotta make some buildings, just something, just hide them.
He runs those 2 lings around, but you know, it might be off. I think Seraph still has it, I suppose, because he can leave some lings to defend his building at the same time, go and kill Vermin's building. So, you know, I think Seraph have it, but what a dramatic game. Oh, GG. I guess that's what happens when you have perfectly mirrored builds.
That's some very weird stuff right there. And honestly, all that I think really came because Vermin decided to put the lings cross instead of... And it's like,
Well,
I think if you're
gamble, I
being,
guess.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess you take the gamble, but if you're really hoping to do the damage, I think you guess the close position because that's the one that's going to get you the better benefit if you're right.
You're probably right. Look, honestly, I think Vermin still would have won if you just cancelled that layer and made 6 more lings.
It's possible. I was actually wondering because you see just the lings going by each other. I don't know, like, is there a reason, like, maybe you get a sunken and, like, get in the middle line? That way, at least you have something, like, you work towards it at least.
I don't think there's time for that, because I think the lings will just come and kill it before it's done. Look, I think Vermin absolutely made the right choice to go straight to its opponent's base rather than turning around, because if you turn around, you're just accepting you're going to have a big disadvantage, because they're going to do damage before you get there, and it was still really close, to be honest.
Yeah, it was very close. Very exciting, ZvZ. Not your Hydra stuff at all.
I love this guy in chat in all caps, like, no, cancel the player, good. Like, he's getting into it. Alright. In the bottom left, once again we have Seraph. So it's the Seraph hour for the second half of this cast. And in the top left we have Too Sexy For You in that beautiful magenta. That is a sexy colour, he's right. There's nothing we can do. Wow, look, it's so beautiful. What's he saying? Wow, at the lag?
I am not sure about that. But it definitely has not been the Seraph hour. I balance these out to have like equal amount of games per player, not just a row of one. Like, no, I've been doing a good job. Don't not the Seraph hour.
Well, we'll see how he does in PvZ. So, I was gonna say like what map we're on now, but it's still Polywood, of course. That's the one downside of preseason. I do like some variety. Now, I can only hope Too Sexy For You's work was going to be better than what we saw before. Not that it even mattered in the end, I suppose.
Okay, Seraph Sander was a remake from lag, so that makes sense.
Restarting PC? Wow. Weird. People in chat, what do you mean saying he said GG, it's over, rules are rules? What, how was it not over? It was extremely over. Okay, looks like... Sorry, you go. Keep interrupting.
I was gonna say, GG is hardly a rule, it's a courtesy.
Yeah, absolutely, but honestly, if someone was saying GG, like, and not leaving and sneaking a base in CPL, I think there would be action taken. Because that's just not wanted.
I mean, but you know, that's happened to me in the ladder. I'm sure it's happened to you too, where someone says GG.
Anyone who's played ladder for more than a short period of time knows that you don't stop playing when your opponent says GG. You try even harder until they leave the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when my opponent says GG, I'm like, oh, okay, I better keep macroing harder because I know they're trying to like hide a base or something, and until they leave the game's not over. Oh, my chair is screwing up. Sorry if people can hear that. The hydraulics are broken, it keeps going down, but a new one is arriving this week, so... Oh my gosh.
It's alright. You can hear it, but it's endearing. It's fine.
Like, because sometimes it stays up, but like, as you saw, I tried to put it up 5 times, it just fell down again. Hang on. I'm gonna do it again, brace your ears. Okay, I think they're good for the second. Please stay up.
Yeah, I've been wondering, because sometimes we hear you go, like, from away from the mic a little bit and into the mic. I'm like, what are you moving around so much for?
Sorry, it's my own chair. Like I said, hopefully this week.
Yeah, unfortunately, we did see Too Sexy For You going around getting last scout. Didn't send out that second probe, so doesn't really confirm, but I guess by what you see, you should be able to guess that's an overpool opening. So only having the one can here for the Forge, not the end of the world at all.
Is he going to go for a 2-hatch build here? Because I don't see a drone moving out through a third base. He's already taking gas. I think he's going to go for a 2-hatch build here, whether it's meter or what else, we don't know. Ooh, fails to block the entrance, which honestly is a fairly big mistake. He could have blocked that pro from getting back in, rather than sending that link down and trying to kill it quicker. And now he sees the gas. Okay, I think Seraph, he's going to take a 3rd hatch. He's just a bit slow about it. I don't know, because he has a lot of minerals saved up.
Remember, trying out that new race, little experience, you know, might still be trying to figure things out. It's very easy to just forget these kind of little early steps, even if you've been playing the same build a lot, you know, just easy over, like, skip over one little thing.
Yeah, you know, Sexy For You doing a good job keeping this probe alive. I'm impressed with the probe micro so far. Very important to keep that alive as long as possible. Look at this, Seraph is going to throw down a hatchery out there. Gets link speed first, though, so I don't know if he intends to do some kind of all-in. Honestly, if I was Sexy For You and I scouted this, I'd be like, why is this so late? And I'd be kind of worried, even though it might have just been a mistake in reality.
Yeah, it seems very reasonable, but I mean, still, seeing the exact timing when that 3rd hatchery goes down, that's got to give you a little bit of a buffer. You're like, you know what? It's not that, like, it's not the Hydra stuff, right? It's not at the right time, and we'll be fine. We'll keep the scouting up, keep this probe alive, but you're feeling pretty comfortable that you're going to be able to just play your game.
Yeah, so, I mean, okay. He has a pretty sharp, like, timing, I think, ZvT, like, with his tech and everything. His build's being executed very well, but I'm wondering, with the kind of fast link speed here, is it just a waste? Because Seraph isn't making any links right now. Like, why not just go for the lair? What's the plan? And look at this Stargate coming up fast. The Spire is not going to be done in time for this.
Yeah, it might be just trying to, like, be ready in case it was more gateways. It was a gateway first instead of the Forge or something like that. Like, one of those. Just, I have the lake speed and I can make them if I need it, but I'm hoping to not have to.
Well, the probe finally falls, so Sexy Few is in the dark. But yeah, you got a good point. If Protoss starts coming across the Zealots, if you make speedlings, they really can clean that up. Now, we're not going to see a second Stargate, it seems like here. I'm waiting for the Citadel as soon as he starts paying for those Corsairs. Because usually he's just going to do a regular Citadel follow-up. Now, second gas going down so early here for Seraph. Surely he's going to go Muta with this, right?
It's gotta be, like, I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be, but it should be, because, I mean, you're investing in some of this kind of stuff. Like, it's gonna be hard to get that big hatchery explosion, get all these Hydras up. I think you want to use me to try to, like, get something done, like, throw your opponent off a little bit, especially since it's still, like, you don't see a lot of Zerg players actually go Muta. It's an easy way if you want to just look for an advantage, a way to get an advantage. Seems very reasonable.
I think Sexy Few is committing a significant error here in not sending his first Corsair straight to his opponent's base. Now, if he's that next level that he feels like he knows exactly what Seraph is doing, he doesn't need to, I guess that's fine, but just in general, I really don't think he needs to kill that.
I mean, he's got Zealots in the natural. He's getting some info.
Yeah, he's getting some info and some kills too. So, you know what, maybe it doesn't even matter. I guess seeing the second gas is good intel. I still just don't know how I feel about that, because it's not like that Overlord is going anywhere. Okay, well, he's going to come up here to this third as well, and, like, so much for your link speed. He didn't make any links still to do anything with it. Ooh, gets another one. Nicely done.
I mean, honestly, I think you're getting the info just because these Zealots are causing this havoc, not using the larva, saving the larva for the Mutas.
Well, Hydra's actually made here. Even though the Spy got made, there's a Hydra den somewhere. Is it in the main? Oh. You know, I think it shows Seraph's inexperience in the zone because he's not using any of this stuff to SimCity, which is really important. And look at this. Still drones are being attacked here. Will we get another one? These Zealots already have done so much damage. Oh my gosh. Too many drones are falling. Zerg is really taking a beating here. Hydra's out.
Even without the drones dying, the fact that two bases are not mining right now.
Yeah.
You're doing damage.
Oh, he doesn't actually attack them. That's sad. The Zealots' journey continues. Where are the Corsairs? Where these Corsairs not even coming to harass during this? Imagine if these Corsairs were killing Overlords this whole time.
Yeah, but I mean, you just look at how delayed things are. At this point, Zealot speed in +1 is near completion. Right? Templar and Storm is already on the way. And this is for the cost of 3 Zealots.
Oh, they get another drone. Please make it stop. Oh my gosh.
Oh. This is brutal.
Oh, he almost got one more, but not quite. That was too much damage.
Those Zealots lived for so long, and at the end they were all at like 10 health. It's like they were perfectly being micro. It's like, no, this is going to be the most annoying Zealots you've ever seen in your life.
Now, Storm is a long way away for Protoss, but he does have a DT on the way, so it's supposed to be fine. I'm just very disappointed he wasn't more active with the Corsairs during that. He really could have done a brutal amount of damage here. But honestly, he did do a brutal amount of damage. The drone count is still low right now. DT just slips right past those, doesn't even care. And there are Overlords everywhere, but if you run to the natural, whether you can see the DT or not, if you have nothing to attack it with, it doesn't really matter. And look, the Corsairs now come out to play. They've got a job to do now.
Yeah, and still, there's like no real SAG defense. SimCity's not going to help out here, and here comes that DT. There's one sunken, so you went to the only place that can do something about this DT.
That's actually pretty sad, but it did. Honestly, it was worth it anyway because it got 3 drones. But that's very disappointing that he wasn't microing that. And like you said, it went to the one place. There's another DT defending at home that can potentially come across and harass. An Overlord has fallen. Honestly, like I feel like Warfright is just up against the rope. Sexy Few is just punching him over and over again in the gut. How much longer can he take it?
I mean, all things considered, like there's still there's not a.
Ooh. Okay, he loses one and almost loses another one. That single Scourge waiting. That's the sad thing about Scourges, right? They always travel in pairs, so it's like if one sacrifices itself, the other doesn't. They're just waiting to like die, right? Because they lost their egg mate, I guess. Ooh, this DT.
So the Hydra saw the DT.
They're going
and shot it a little bit. He shot it a little bit.
God, they killed them so fast. Oh no. There's Scourge waiting for more Corsairs. Of course, Corsairs don't even matter right now. There's DT. So many kills. Oh my gosh. The Hydra finally realized what's happened. They're like, oh god, where are all the drones? This whole game, these Hydras have been having a hard time running around after these Protoss units. Oh, Corsairs taken out. The natural, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna point out, but even still, like, this is just so much damage, so much setback, and it's like at this point with the amount of econ damage you've done, it's like they can't keep making army. They don't have like the gas and everything they're expecting, so lurkers are probably delayed because that's like you're gonna have to cut a corner to get back in this game. And you can see Robo is being started now. It's not gonna get punished for how late it is relatively. You got the gateways being added. Goon range is gonna be ready before any of this, and there's like no static defense. I think that next attack, when you got that first like round or two of ranged goons, it's going to do really big damage, and I have no idea how Seraph's going to stop it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's building up a decent ground army while it's going on. So many Templars ready. You know, if that DT got past those Hydras, that ramp, and got into this main, it would have done so much damage because it barely died. It almost escaped from the Overlord. But yeah, I think as soon as TextView adds enough, like, you know, meat with this army of Zealots and Goons, he can go with the Templars and devastate anything now. Seraph coming across going to position near the Protoss army. I don't know if that's wise, because a single storm can devastate him. A lot of drones being produced though. Zerg does have the ability to mass produce drones if they have the time.
Yeah, I just hope this is just a cautious, like, let me try to like do a soft contain. I'm willing to leave, because if this is that you've taken so much damage, you feel like the pressure. I want to try to get something done. That's an easy way to throw away any chance to get back in this game. So many drones were made. Lurker aspect is about to finish, so it's not like Seraph's completely dead in the water. Things have delayed a lot, but you know, only just needs a little bit of time from Too Sexy for You get back into this game, and it's still very reasonable.
He does have a lot of gas, so he can make a lot of lurkers all at once. Look at this, finally killing these buildings in the way. He needs to kill that gateway. Yeah, there you go. But it looks like he's ready to come out. I mean, I don't know. His Observer's not going to be too long, and even if the lurkers do get made, they're getting made right now. Oh, this could be a big mistake, though. If he gets out there and storms those before they're done, Zerg in a lot of trouble right now. How far off are they from finishing? Looks like he went quite a time. Oh, there's only like 10 seconds left on these lurkers. Is he going to move out? No, I think he's waiting for his Observer. But that might be a moot point, because if he has the Observer, he has so many storms. Okay, here he comes, just too late. And he's just throw down those storms and those lurkers right away. Nice. And he's never stormed. He's got so much energy. Oh, he's forming his own Templars as they run in to hug the enemy. Well, still, it hardly even matters though, because it's also has. Oh, storm those eggs, please. No, he didn't. Okay, now he might.
Still, get some pretty good damage done, kills off some of these lurkers, but you can see a lot of that kind of basic ground army. It's getting clogged up at the natural. It's going to be hard to kind of move all this out. Observers are here, going to be able to see everything. There's not a lot to shoot it down either, so reinforcements are going to come out for Seraph. You know, I think stabilizing as best as you can at this point. It's are walking in range, like kind of getting hit more than they have to, but here comes a nice big fight. Is there more stars available? Yeah, there definitely is, and that's a good one in the back line. A lot of Hydras going down, not many lurkers left over, and this Protoss army, even though there's no Zealots really left, there's still a lot of army there as they win a big fight.
Yeah, I think Protoss had kind of enough. The container's never going to work. I feel like Seraph needed to sit back and set up his defenses at his base. Because it's hard for Protoss to attack in the natural if you have a lot of stuff on the high ground, and the high ground itself is hard to bust because it's high ground. He would have had a much better time now. He's frantically trying to make more lurkers back here, but I don't know if he's going to have time. Where are the Templars? Are they going to be here in time to storm this? It looks like no. Oh, those extra tanky. Where's the storms? Oh, there it goes. Oh, they hatched just in time. They still take some damage from that storm. They're going to be easy for these goons to clean up. Well, it is only goons, but the storm is devastating this Hydra so much. I think Protoss just has enough. He's going to bust through here.
Yeah, it's too much stuff. I think too much economic damage early on. So they've tried their best to get back into it though. So, you know, Valiant, I think that was going to be the way to do it if there's going to be a way, but it was just too much damage done early.
Yes, 1212 in the chat asking if commentary is live. We're live every, what is it going to be, Tuesday and Wednesday?
I mean, if you're on this channel, there's going to be so many casts. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for sure. Thursdays probably still going to be the EU friendly time slot with a different caster than us. And honestly, if you just like what we're doing here, if you join our Discord, which the bot throws out every now and again, we have a lot of community casters casting games with all variety of skill levels.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great place to come and watch. And look, honestly, like, yes, we have some casts where, depending what kind of level player you are, you might not get much out of, but we have some very skillful players which are always impressive as well at the same time. So we have a full range of casting content here at CPL.
Yeah, then we got this guy who's good, but then he'll just get trash talker SimCity.
Yeah, well, I've been away for 3 months, so I don't know. SimCity I'll never forget though. I'll be in a nursing home when I'm 95, and I was wake up and you're like, oh, put the depot to the right, and they're like, all right, back to sleep.
Well, we're going into our last game of the day. Save the best matchup for last, just for you. I know you appreciate it.
Oh yes, I know what you're saying.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Get baited. Get baited.
Oh,
it's not.
That to me. All right, in the bottom right here we have a Terran in the olive, Havia, but in the bottom left it's a Zerg. Well, I don't want to belittle Vermin. Vermin's great. We have Vermin in the grey. I just really wish it's a TvT because Saetzero hyped me up and then let me down.
Hey, I gotta bait you negatively when I could just bait you.
We had a ZvZ. How come we can't have a TvT?
I think you know why. I think you're well aware why.
No, honestly, I think it's valid. It's a valid matchup. Look, never mind that video I made where it's literally like a test of pain. It's fine. It's
well,
fine.
One, I would say most people actually think TvZ is the best matchup, especially as an observer.
Yeah.
And in the same way that I'm not picking a TvT right now, I'm not gonna make you watch the Hydra ZvZ game, okay?
All right, deal. That's
like,
deal.
we dance both sides of the line.
As much as I love TvT, I have to avoid those Hydra ZvZ. By the way, anyone want to volunteer to cast that? I know we have a bunch of community casters. Please, just.
There's people that are all over it. I'm sure.
Great. They can have a great time. Is Yenta casting these days? It's his fault, so get him in there.
No, it's Lightstorm now. He's the torch for the Hydra player.
That's right.
He knows what's up.
Alright, so looks like it's going to be actually a hatch first this time. People are breaking away from this overpool nonsense. The last TvZ we watched, the Terran did win, right?
No, the lurkers broke through.
Oh, that's right, the two-edged lurker. Okay, I was going to blame it on the overpool, but I don't know what to say now.
I mean, if you were just going to really lean into that, we could just clip it and just be like, Neblime says Hawk doesn't know how to teach anything.
That's right. Neblime trash-talking Hawk says he could beat him like 9-0 or something, I don't know.
Hit him up with the grudge. I think we need more show matches anyway.
Did I tell you about that one game I played versus Hawk? The one game where I had like an advantage versus Hawk and I might have won, he built like a hatchery in the center, like literally in the center of the map here on Polypoid, and like an idiot I went to kill it and there was hold lurkers all over it. And I lost that game, of course.
Oh, that is hilarious.
Yeah, like he just built it right in the middle. Alright, so looks like it's going to be a 2-hatch build from Zerg, which is pretty standard. And, I think we're going to see standard bio here as well. Terran playing it very safe, getting that depot, which is surprising given he one-scouted. It was actually not necessary. Could have gone for that CC, but there's nothing wrong with playing safe as well, just getting that higher marine count. If you go for the 19 CC as opposed to 15 CC, you can potentially put pressure on earlier with marines if Zerg's being greedy. We'll see if that's an option here. Keeping that SCP human.
Yeah, I mean, what we saw from Javier in the last game was, very standard kind of play. Bio play looked good, and I think it was just the timing of the 2-hatch lurker, which is a little bit of an unusual build. Yeah. So if we get like something a little more standard, I think Javier's gonna be well positioned to get themselves in a good mid game. And we are getting that 2-hatch lair. As he does leave, but he's gonna be able to go back in and see exactly what's up.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be careful going down that ramp because once there's units on it, that's it. Unless you mineral warped another one already. But yeah, I mean. Hager was playing pretty conservative in the TvP, not that that's a bad thing, honestly he was looking fine until that attack that went wrong. So I expect pretty standard play TvZ here as well. It looks like he's going to throw out the second barracks, absolutely normally. Now, okay, I'll go with that as a depot. I was going to say, if that's a bunker, I have objections, but that's a depot, so that's fine I guess. Honestly, it still could be a bit of a spot, but I don't want to play to my own stereotype too much to start harping about the SimCity. Let's talk about this SCV and how early it's going to die. That is a big issue for Terran here.
Yeah, I mean, at least it did get a little bit past that halfway mark. There was a good chance you would have seen a Hydra then if it was going to be lurkers by now. But even though you don't know quite as well as you would like, you can still make the reasonable assumption.
Light Swarm, is that a ZvZ? That's the only question I'm going to ask you.
That's probably the game that you're trying to avoid, like the play.
Yeah, someone else can ask that. So yeah, here's the problem. Terran doesn't know now if it's going to be Ling or Ling coming. He doesn't know if a hydrogen is going to be made. Well, obviously it should have been made already. Second gas actually a bit late for Zerg here. I'm going to start up just now. So he doesn't have that intel. You're going to be a bit careful. I'm surprised he didn't make a bunker. Honestly, he's just being brave right now and going like, even though I don't have any scouting intel, I'm just going to assume he's not making Lings and try not to get that disadvantage and forced to make the bunker, which in this case is going to work out in his favor, but I don't like being dicey like that, to be honest.
I mean, we saw that last game as well. I think the bunker was a little bit more delayed because, you know, you see this kind of people that'll make the bunker as they expand or they try to delay and really try to push it off as much as they can. So I think Weedu's behavior is just trying to dance that line, be as comfortable as he can. And look at this drone up at the top left. Love being able to move that out and claim another main.
Yep.
That's always a great situation here, especially since you don't have to take that stupid mineral base.
That is a great position because it's just so far from the Terran, right? Especially going Muta, you know, you have a lot of space where you can be harassing the Terrans you move across the map. One thing about Polypod, I'd say, I think it's a well-balanced map for dealing with Muta because in the middle of the map there's like some features Mutas can play around, like there's high grounds in the middle only, but at the same time there's a lot of open space as well, and the bases are like, you know, not too hard to defend for Terran. Okay, Stim's coming up here now. Terran, I don't think we'll have a window to hit a Stim timing, but that said, there are no Sunkens, so if Terran actually moves across the map, and Zerg doesn't realize, if he sends his Muta straight to the Terran base, he will actually lose instantly. Well, let's see if Terran's game to move out that aggressively. Medic's still being built, presumably he waits for them. Because yeah, Zerg really does not have any defense at all.
Yeah, and I think we did see last time the move out was timed around the stem, so we'll see if he at least tries to clear out the links, get some of that scouting information out here. But the eBay is finished at a good time, can start making these turrets, which hasn't started making them yet, making me a little bit nervous.
Well, here's the thing, if Terran moves out and gets to the Zerg base, he doesn't actually have to, like, defend his base. He just has to not completely die because he will kill all the drones if there's nothing to defend there. Now he's not moving out, which honestly I think is a mistake. Even though he doesn't have marine range, he could really force these mutas not to harass because there's only like what 6-7 mutas out right now, which is not that threatening for that much bio. He could easily be forcing Zerg to stay back. That said, the turrets in the natural are up. Turrets in the main are reasonably well positioned, so it looks like he's going to be fine here. Although that depot. Oh, he tries to hit the marine instead. He could just hit the depot, but still nice little pick off there by Zerg. Good beat of macro so far.
Yeah, forcing more turrets and committing to the air carapace, so you know really wants to lean into the mutas and put some investment in them, which I don't ever mind seeing that, but the fact that money is building up and not actually adding on more steps a little far forward, Stim Marines do a lot of damage very quickly.
Yeah, it was focus fire too, which is very good. You do have focus fire and flame list, but so far Vermin's Muta micro really good, picking off single Marines without too much damage. Just when Havier was paying attention, he was able to focus fire there. But honestly, when Marine range is done, I think Havier has a really scary force here. He's been macroing well, and gets another one. Zerg is being quite ballsy here. He's microing these units well, but like even J-Dong doesn't really want to be engaging this right now.
Especially if you're planning to add on more and you're making the upgrades, you definitely don't want to be like overly reckless.
Well,
but it does keep the Terran back at home. You know, that top left base did finish up. It's going to buy him time to
my take on that is that's entirely up to Terran if he wants to try and move out or not. The mutas aren't stopping or encouraging that. Okay, look at this. Oh, he almost gets another one. Oh my gosh, these mutas sandwiching the turrets and the Marines take a lot of extra damage. This is looking very dicey for Vermin, especially given there's no Sunkers at home. The Hydra Den is very late, lurker aspect just started. Not that's a mistake per se, that's a deliberate choice. He wanted to go for more mutalisks here, but oh gosh. No, I think as soon as Havier realizes, he can just come across the map and end this game. But will he realize 4 lurkers are out? Vermin, honestly, engaging right now I don't even think is a bad decision because he is in a terrible position. He needs to delay these Marines at all costs from coming across the map. Because if they do, this game will end.
I mean, honestly, like, yeah, I guess as long as the attack doesn't happen, like, it's very fragile, but like the drone count's good, the tech hasn't been delayed or anything, he's got a third base set up. Like, I think Vermin, as long as he can somehow get out of this, is looking like they're in a good spot, but it's going to be up to Havier if they do want to start attacking. And this is starting to look more like I'm actually moving out, not just trying to tickle the mutas with a gun.
Yeah, and look how many Marines he has. Although he's getting distracted by these mutas. Vermin's doing a good job of trying to menace these Marines, but I also say Havier's doing like a bad job falling for it when he just needs to be pushing forward here. He's inching his way across. A Sunken is being built. Lurker aspect almost done. Now he should have plenty of NGO. 2 lurkers. Nice pick off, but still loses more mutalisks.
Yeah, 3 mutas died so quickly. It's so more bruised, and I think just seeing a couple mutas explode like that gives you the extra confidence. Scanning forward, being very careful that lurkers could be here, not seeing any just yet. So I think being very careful here. And Xavier, come on, bro, you're almost there.
I think he's missed his window now anyway, because lurkers are going to hatch in a minute. Look, like I said, it's not like Vermin wasn't really trying to distract him. So it's not like Xavier was just sitting there not doing anything. Vermin, although, you know, obviously it's his mistake, he took so much damage on the minions in the first place, he did a really good job just trying to annoy those marines and slow them down, which a lot of players don't do. They either harass your base, or their mutas just aren't doing anything when they don't realize you really need to mess with that bio as it comes across the map. Now this lurker running to the ramp, Xavier hesitates, scans, now it's only one lurker. If he stims, or if he doesn't stim, he needs another scan right now. He needs another scan. Oh, he doesn't scan again. Now it's going to do a lot more damage. Okay, then they got one more shot. He can probably bust this location. The mutalists are coming, but I mean, there's enough marines left over here. Not the cleanest bust by Terran, but honestly, it's good enough. Look at that poor lurker surrounded. The mutas are coming. That's a lot of mutas, actually. Oh, and more lurkers hatch. I thought those were regular eggs. I didn't realize they were lurker eggs, and maybe Terrans in either. He takes them out. Okay, even if this gets cleaned up, killing those lurkers is worth a lot. And in fact, no drones mining here right now either.
Yeah. I mean, all things considered, though, like, I think Xavier finally moving out, trying to get something done. And Vermin's still, you know, reasonably, like, for losing all the stuff at the top left, their position doesn't look that bad. Hive is now about halfway done, and we're seeing some control powers being made, and an armory is completed.
Yeah, so...
Oh, that's interesting, right?
Yeah, but he's already transitioned to Lurker, so I don't think Valkyrie's going to be any good. Maybe he was going to go Valkyrie, but now he's seen Lurker, it's just a vestigial armory, I guess. You can always get, like, upgrades and mech switch later, but it's not very common these days. Oh, these overlords, uh-oh. Man, Xavier is brave about Lurkers, though. I can't believe he just moved across like that. But that said, Vermin did pull back. And honestly, Vermin probably needed to pull back. Okay, there we go. That's a scan for Hold Lurkers. Again, he's very on top of the fact that Circle often put Hold Lurkers at that distance from the base. But there you go. Oh, these drones. Sneaking past.
Just barely escaped, but there's like no defense here at this front. It's just 2 stacked lurkers, right?
Well, he doesn't have +1 armor, so I mean, I think it's barely enough. If Terran attacked that, I don't think the game is going to go in a favorable direction. It seems tempting, but it's very dicey. Even with that many marines without +1 armor, I mean, I don't know. +1 armor's about to finish. Does he have enough energy for more scans? Wait for +1 armor. It's like 5 seconds away. Okay, he's going to go for it. He needs another scan. He needs another scan. It's going to run out again. Oh, and you see what I mean? Even though it seems like you have a lot, they do die quickly, and that wasn't the best spread. But still, Xavier really on top of his macro. I'm very impressed by this. He was using a lot of bio consistently while macroing it, which is very hard to do because, you know, the Marines finish quickly, you've got to queue them up again. And Zerg also keeping on top of his taking up. This is a really, like, nice game we're seeing here.
Yeah, I will say, like, as far as Xavier, like, the macro has been good. I like the ideas we're doing, but the lack of commitment when they go for the attack, it feels very, I guess. Like, it's not, like, full snim, fully in, make my decision. It's a lot of extra time setting up, engaging without the stim right away, not waiting for the armor just then. It's just, it feels like some of the decision making isn't quite as decisive as it needs to be for some of these moments.
Well, Zerg still absolutely is on the ropes. If he reinforces here, he's now a very formidable force. With an irradiate available to kind of negate the mutalists, he can still potentially bust this. Even though there's still 2 lurkers there, I mean, it doesn't look that strong for this amount of buy, especially now +1 armor's done. Now let's see what he does. Does he have energy on that bad boy? He does. Just chasing his way. That spore coming up, honestly, I think is a bit premature. It's not like the vessel's really trying to come in like that at this point. I mean, you will get the irradiate on the first file if he wants you. The spore doesn't kill it that quickly. Now look at that. More lurkers reinforced. So now I would say this location not worth Terran to bust. Terran, you have to move on. This space defended by 3 lurkers. I mean, Terran won't get in anytime soon, but he can siege and irradiate. But he needs to be careful about Dark Swarm coming across the map because he's giving up all contain over this natural, which I think might be a slight mistake here.
Yeah, and honestly, this is a really important time to try to get at least something done here because Consume is about halfway done. First, the files are going to start hitting the map soon, and here comes that Ultralisk Cavern as well. So if they can get to that point where they got Dark Swarm, they can keep buying more time. If you thought it was hard to attack before, it's going to get only worse.
Well, he's trying to come right up here. I don't think he realizes there's 3 lurkers there. Losing a lot of units for free here. In fact, there's 4 lurkers now. That Overlord cunningly positioned to prevent irradiates. This is just throwing units away right now for the Terran. He needs to come up with a different plan. Oh boy. Oh, get him out of there, Terran, get him out of there. Oh, I don't know what he thinks he's doing here. Okay, pulls back finally. Now the mutalists are here. There isn't a radiate available. Terran makes use of that. But she doesn't even need to. Honestly, the radiate might have been a waste of energy because those mutalists can't do anything at this point. Now,
and still, that attack, it lost so much stuff for Xavier. It didn't really get anything done. And back at home, there's still no third base. Like, the weapon upgrades he's been trying to go with that, finally starting that command center. And it feels like there's a big opportunity to get some damage done. Vermin gets to climb right back into the game out of the generosity of Xavier, unfortunately.
That's right. Well, look, I would have said when Zerg is on 3 bases, 2 base for Terran is okay, but this is a way he can potentially get an advantage, right, by going for this third base here, if he can keep it up. If Terran can just maintain like his position now, mine from this third base, Zerg can't get a fourth, Terran would definitely be ahead, but it seems like a bit of an overextension, honestly, especially losing that much army. The Ultra's going to be out soon. Now, Terran's upgrades are good. He's going to have +2 for a little bit before +2 for Zerg is done, but it's still going to be dicey to hold it, having lost that many rings. And here comes Dark Swarm. Not going to do that much when it's only Lings, as long as Terran pulls back. Reluctantly does. And yeah, see, Ling's only on a Dark Swarm, obviously good, but it's hard to really get anything done against Spire. You need to bring the Lurkers forward, and he did lose that Defiler, so honestly not worth it all for the Zerg though. Ooh, we're radiating more of those Lurkers. There's still 3 left here now. Oh, this is not a good move. Those Lurkers are going to annihilate this. That said, the Dark Swarm does help against the Sunkens, interestingly. Ooh, a tank is out now. Now, 9 Ultralists are on the way. This is going to be the moment where Terran's going to have a hard time. He really needs to get all his army together. My god, that medic. What did you think she was going to do? Heal the Zerg? Defeat them with the power of love and peace? Like what? Ooh.
I mean, it's possible. You don't know.
Look at that Overlord. The Overlord actually ended up getting irradiated, so that strategy worked pretty well for Vermin there. Nicely done. No, seriously, that's a big deal, taking the energy. But that said, this vessel up here has a lot of energy. Okay, the Ultralists are out. Ultralist speed on the way. +2 campaigns about to finish. +3 weapons is not started for Terran. So, unless he starts that soon, he's going to potentially fall behind here in upgrades.
Yeah, this is already going to be a rough spot. These Defilers starting to charge up, and Plague is done in research as well. So if you really want to like put some pressure on here, there's not very medics here. Plague would be a really huge move.
Nice irradiating the Defiler though. I'm surprised he irradiated the Lurker, but nonetheless, getting that Defiler is actually key here. And honestly, these Ultras coming in without speed, piecemeal, are really not going to do well. They're getting shredded right now. No medics with this army, but does it really matter? This is a slaughter for Zerg. I mean, you can see they still kill some stuff because they're Ultras, but this is an extremely efficient trade for the Terran. Look at that, he's forced to pull back. At the same time, a few Ultras trying to come down the ramp at the top, but again, oh no, Terran getting baited in though at the natural, a bit unfortunate there. And these units at the top are not making use of these vessels. These vessels sitting here with so much energy, not doing anything, so the units at the top will actually be cleared up, it looks like. Focus firing the not injured Ultralists right now. Oh, look at those reinforcements though, those reinforcements are scary. He just needs to use these vessels.
Yeah, Ling's getting some kills while you get the chance before the reinforcements show up. Siege tanks, I think, will be helpful. You can start working down at least these Sunkens, put some kind of pressure, force the Zerg to take some kind of action here. So we'll see if that ends up being what it is. The medic's trying to move across the map, but look at Vermin taking a couple units going towards that third base that has literally no defense.
Yeah, I'm surprised there's no bunker there. Now, there's some reinforcement just honestly look like enough to hold this. As long as he moves them up, yeah. I think Terran will be fine here, but I would like to see some bunkers moving forward. In fact, yeah, this is pretty bad for the Zerg. If he loses all these Ultras, that's a big gas investment he's throwing away. At the same time, these in the front is still under considerable pressure. Where are the rest of the Ultralists? Are they all died in these peaceful engagements? These vessels at the top still chilling. Terran has started +3, and the Zerg's not got stratus. Oh, the vessels, the natural getting taken out a little bit there. And here's the thing. Tanks in this scenario I don't feel like are very good unless you make a lot of them. He literally only has one. Another one coming out here. Because I feel like Zerg can potentially just snipe that one tank. And I look at this, trying to bust again prematurely, but these Lurkers doing so much damage. Going after the Nidus, but it's not going to work out. The Defiler pops out just in time. That Defiler has no energy and is immediately going to get irradiated. Oh dear, it's doing damage to those Zergers as well. Ooh, nice Dark Swarm. But see, this is the problem. That one tank of yours, it doesn't stop that much on the Dark Swarm. And once it's picked off, that's all you got. But Fireback doing its work under Swarm as best it can. Oh my gosh, they just slaughtered those Zerg as well.
I mean, at least Vermin is taking that next step while all this action is happening back and forth, neither player really getting a good edge. There is an attempt to take a fourth base up at the top, since all the units did get repelled from up there. So at least Vermin is furthering the game plan, at least somewhat. We do see these upgrades going forward as well. +1 melee is about to finish up. I'm surprised this wasn't the +3 armor.
Yeah,
right
that's
off
a
the
mistake,
bat.
quite frankly. +3 would have been way better. Was there another radiator? Oh, a drone got irradiated that was heading to the 12. But yeah, Terran needs to break through here, I feel like, or Zerg is going to pull out of the 4th. Now, when that 4th is not defended at all, but assuming that Terran can't break it later, Zerg's going to be in a good position now. I don't know about this, he really needs to fire to back this up. No stim coming down these Marines just yet. Okay, there it goes. That tank siege a bit late, but honestly, this is too many Marines. These Ultras are not going to try and against that many Marines. Oh, nice D-Matrix too, very nice indeed. finally stims into his back here. Oh, but these links getting in here might actually do a lot. Oh, reinforcements though. Very nice.
Yeah, just in time. And look at the lane group that moved out. It went to the top right, like trying to like guess that hopefully there's a base I can go kill. But that's just a counterattack that isn't happening right now. Instead, Xavier's still just chilling under 3 bases.
Well, I think Terran's about to get through here. That Nidus is already low. Is there anything come through? The Defiler desperately trying to come up the ramp, but at the same time the Nidus falls. Nothing's gonna come through. I think Terran is finally breaking through in this game.
And still lots of macro from Xavier. Back at home, there's reinforcements still moving across the map. Big pressure here up at the natural. I think this is going to go down. Now, are you going to be able to stop? There's no lurkers, and there's not really big meaty units. Plague, sure, not bad.
That Defiler got sniped by that tank. Nice target fire there by Xavier. And yeah, I don't think Zerg's any answer to this. Where does that Nidus even go? I think that's not even linked to anything. Oh god, they shoot a fire's coming down. Yeah, I think Terran's going to smash through here. Really nice, relentless macro from Xavier. Continually reinforcing, keeping the pressure on the Zerg trade off. And this fourth isn't really going to be worth it because there's no time for it to see action. Some Link's trying to counterattack, but the reinforcements of Xavier can easily deal with this. And he's going to lose all his tech. It's very hard for Zerg to come back from that. Even when Zerg's in like economically advantaged situations, which Zerg really isn't right now, losing all the tech is so hard to get back from. Oh, he needs to defend his third though. What are these units doing?
Honestly, I don't even think you need to. Like, you're doing so much damage
he's
here.
Just like, I don't need any more units. I built what I need to win the game. He's probably not.
I mean, yeah, he's. I don't think he's wrong on that assumption, right?
Yeah. Nice D matrix again. Very nice, especially this is now. Oh yeah, no, these ultras have no chance. See, if it was me, I would accidentally click on the ultra list, and then I'm like, oh dear. Okay, finally cleans up those units at the third. He lost a lot of SCVs, but hey, he's mined out in the main, so he's just being efficient with his supply. GG. That was a very nice game to end it on. We can say that Xavier had the advantage pretty much the whole game, except for some mistakes, but Vermin did a pretty good job trying to survive. I'm very impressed by his like, you know, mind games with the mutalists in the mid game. I think he really saved himself there just by like lurking around and picking at that bioforce.
Yeah, I think it was a lot of every opportunity Vermin got, he tried to make something out of. It's just a little more decisive behavior. Like, that's just easy things that you see that these players could work on. It's considering it's week 1 of preseason. I'd love to see those kind of simple things that you can make immediate improvement with.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think Xavier, we can definitely say his best matchup is TvZ, just looking at that, because that was very strong.
Yeah, that looked quite good. It'll also like seeing that bio doing pretty well. The lurker game, we chalked it up to being caught off guard.
I mean, it happens. Like I said, in CPL preseason, you need a Terran to get through. That's just what you do. That's what people do in CPL preseason.
Yeah. Well, that was the last one that we have for tonight. Everyone that tuned in to watch our first cast this season, so glad to have you back watching us. We'll be around tomorrow as well, back into that regular schedule. It's going to be some preseason and then regular season, just like we always do. Be in the Discord to look out for any kind of non-casting events that we might be doing, like a masterclass with Flo. That's going to be on this Friday, 7 o'clock Eastern, I believe is the time. He's a very good Zerg player. We'll teach you lots of good stuff. Make sure you're here to check that out.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's all for today. We'll be signing off. Thanks again for joining us. Like Saetzero said, anything else to shill, Saetzero? Last chance?
No, the season hasn't really kicked in. The shill is minimal.
Alright then. Thanks for joining us, guys. See you next time.